Hi, it's Jimmy Middleton with Alex Rocco and Joe Pratt as the Kettleers take on the YD Red Sox in Game 30 of the season. Last night we played that against the Chatham Anglers. And AR, what was the biggest takeaway from yesterday's game against the Anglers?
Well, yesterday it was a really offensive outburst for the Kettleers. The home run ball played a big factor in the win. The Kettleers blasted 3 home run balls. Easton Winfield's home run, that came all the way back in the first inning, might still be traveling. That's how far he hit it. It traveled 429 feet, but just getting consistent production through the Kettleers lineup, that's something that Mike Roberts has talked about. Getting solid production 1 through 9, and everyone in last night's win got a base knock and was getting on base. So last night, the offense really was the main factor in the victory.
That ball is definitely still traveling. Joe, what was your biggest takeaway from last night's game for you?
Last night's game, Alex, you mentioned the offense in the 11-5 win, but also pitching. You saw Bryson Parrish get a relief appearance, also Lucas Perko finishing off the ball game, and Joey Volchko got the start. Always great to see a Cotuit pitcher throw into the 5th inning or throw nearly 5 innings and throwing 95 pitches, I believe it was, for Volchko, the most of any starter this season. But with that, a lot of arms in the bullpen today are hot. A lot of guys are available, so I think that's the biggest takeaway against a YD team that has a great offense. They're the best team in the East Division, and so to have a lot of arms ready and available to go today is super important.
And now we head to our keys to the game. I'll start off with the keys to the game. It's going to be keeping the ball in the yard for me today because YD leads the Cape League in home runs, and they also have, I'm pretty sure, 35 on the season. They do play in what is termed a bang box, but keeping the ball in the yard, keeping the ball down, only ground balls, that's my key to the game. What's yours tonight, Joe?
Key to the game, throw strikes, pound the zone early in counts. As you mentioned it, no team has hit more home runs than YD, and a big reason for that likely is because of the ballpark that they play in, but also you can't be getting behind in counts and then continually have to throw those get-me-over pitches and throw into favorable counts for batters, and that obviously leads to a lot of extra base hit home runs at times. So getting ahead of these batters, throwing strikes, that'll be important for Tyler O'Neill, who's getting his first start.
Alex, your key?
I'm going to go with on the offensive end for Cotuit and continue to put up runs like we've seen over the last few games. Of course, 11 runs last night, hits all across the board, but this is a YD team that they've played close. Of course, the last time these two teams played was that 8-8 tie after 6 innings, but YD, their starter, Ethan Fireved, making his first appearance and first start this summer on the Cape. So for the Kettleers, and this is a really dangerous Cotuit lineup, so Fireved's going to have to throw strikes, but it's being aggressive early in counts and just getting on base.
Well, we got 2 debuts on both sides of the pitching tonight, and we got really veteran lineups in this Cave League. We'll send it up to Joe and Alex with first pitch tonight from Lowell Park.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you please to regular attention to the field. One of the most entertaining first pitches this year. In conjunction with our Park in the Park promotion, we'd like to introduce Haley. Haley is a former member of the Hearts and Paws Comfort Dogs, one of our highlighted organizations today. He is a full-time service dog for Brian Whittemare, son of Fran Maycock, president of the Cotuit Athletic Association, and Cheryl McPhillips, secretary of the Cotuit Athletic Association. Haley is a 5-year-old chocolate lab who loves her Kettleer brothers. This year, that includes pitcher Mike Ebner, who's her catcher today, by the way, along with interns Shane Patagna, Chris Jones, and Hugh Green. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask Haley. Let's see that first pitch, Haley. How about that? A unique first pitch here at Lowell Park. With that, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's time to play ball here at Lowell Park.
A battle between two of the top teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League is just moments away from beginning here at Lowell Park as the YD Red Sox are getting set to square off against the Cotuit Kettleers. Hello and welcome to the Kettleers Digital Network. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by my broadcast partner Joe Pratt. And Joe, this is a highly anticipated game between two teams that are playing extremely well.
Yeah, that's right. The top team in the East Division, the top team in the West Division, and as you talked about in the pregame show, they've played some really strong baseball games so far to this point across the first three. Cotuit were able to win one game at YD at Red Wilson Field, but then a 8-8 tie the next time they went over there, and YD getting a win right here at Lowell Park. So 1-1-1 is the season series. We're going to get a chance to see who gets to win this season series, but of course Cotuit getting a season series win against an Eastern Division foe last night with an 11-5 win over Chatham.
And these are two high-powered offenses. YD comes into today leading the league in home runs with 35. Cotuit, we saw it last night in the win, blasted 3 home runs. So Joe, what's going to give for these two squads?
Well, I think tonight you really need to focus on throwing strikes, getting ahead of batters, and a lot of times when you see really two good offenses square off, it boils down to the pitching, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing today. We got a new man up on the mound tonight for the Kettleers, Tyler O'Neill, making his first start. He's by way of Bucknell University, not the first Bucknell Bison we've seen make their way up to the Cape for the Kettleers and make a difference. So a highly anticipated start for him, but also he'll be going up against Ethan Fireved, who is a guy who has only made one appearance so far for YD this summer, so a lot of turnover that you're seeing on both of these pitching staffs, and we'll see, because it's two teams that are led by very tenured Cape League managers, being Scott Pickler, and Mike Roberts on the other side. Both of those guys having coached over 20 seasons in the CCBL, over 20 seasons for their respective ball clubs, so it should be a tight matchup and an exciting one here to round out this week.
You mentioned the pitching matchup in this game, but how does YD line up against Cotuit starter Tyler O'Neill?
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Scott Pickler going with R.J. Austin in the leadoff spot, playing in center field today. It'll be after him. Martinez batting in the second spot. He will be playing in left field. Anthony Martinez, batting third. He is playing at first base. Ethan Petrie, the designated hitter, bats fourth. Phoenix Call is the right fielder today, batting fifth. The third baseman is Talmadge LaCroix, followed by Charlie Somm, who is behind the dish today. Skylar King plays in left field, and Will Tippett gets the start at shortstop.
And Cotuit playing their best baseball as of late. They're 6-0-1 in their last 7 games. And Joe, this is something that we talked a lot about so far this year. Their struggles at home have seemingly gone away. They've won their last 3 here at Lowell Park.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, Mike Roberts was talking about it last week, saying to be a good team, you have to win on the road, but you also have to win at home. And for the Kettleers, a big reason for that is the timely hitting, late inning offense, and of course the long ball has been something that Cotuit has leaned on offensively throughout their 29 games this season.
So we're just about set here from Lowell Park. Tyler O'Neill is ready. RJ Austin is ready. As the first pitch is looked at for ball number way, as we are underway here from Lowell Park. First pitch was tossed at 5 p.m. local time. 81 and sunny today. 10-mile-an-hour winds that are blowing out to the southwest. O'Neill working against the righty Austin. This one chopped on the ground to the shortstop. Cerny fields cleanly his throw in time as 2 pitches and R.J. Austin is retired for the game's first out.
Yeah, good job right there to pitch to some weak contact. Trust Tyler Cerny on the infield who gets another start there, and pretty similar infield to what we've seen in the last couple games, Alex, where you got Timo Becerra back at third, and of course the right side of that infield tied down as always by Advincula and Thatch.
So now that brings up the second baseman, Michael Ball. As O'Neill kicks and deals the first pitch taken well low and outside, so Ball starts up in the count 1-0. Taking a look at how the Kettleers line up defensively from left to right in the outfield, Brandon Compton, Nathan Hall, and Easton Winfield. Joe, you already talked about the infield, but it's Timo Becerra, Tyler Cerny, Jaron Advincula, and Tanner Thatch as the 1-0 pitch clips the outside corner to even the count at 1-1. But Becerra, Cerny, Advincula, and Thatch, and Grant J behind the dish for Mike Roberts with Tyler O'Neill starting. The 1-1, a high looping breaking ball that misses inside. Ball playing in just his second game so far this summer. Went 1 for 3 last night in the tie against the Falmouth Commodores. Did pick up a single, also walked. As the 2-1 pitch, this one's crushed into left field. Going back is Compton, looking up, but that ball is out of here. Michael Ball, just the game's second batter, takes Tyler O'Neill deep. And we talked about the home run ball being a big factor in YD's offense. Well, they just blasted home run number 36. That's the first home run for Michael Ball this summer.
Pitch that he gets all of down in the zone, even low and away, but he pulls it to deep left field into the trees back there. All Compton can do is watch it fly as Michael Ball gives YD an early lead in this ball game, and the first inning continues to be the thorn at the side of these Cotuit pitchers.
So now that brings up Anthony Martinez, who swings at the first pitch. That goes well foul down the left field line. Ball hit 10 home runs this past year at Nevada. Was named to the second team All-Mountain West. Has gotten off to a hot start so far with the Red Sox. Now the 0-1 pitch, Martinez thought about swinging but lays off on the 93-mile-an-hour fastball. So from one dangerous hitter to another, and as now it's Anthony Martinez, who has struggled so far this year, hitting just .230 in 18 games, as the 1-1 offering taken well outside. Martinez this year, 14 for 61, hitting at a .230 clip, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs. Got off to a really hot start with the Red Sox, ripped 2 doubles and collected 4 RBIs in his first week in YD, as the count is now 3-1 against the lefty first baseman.
Cotuit with a 6.83 ERA in the first inning going into this ballgame. That's the worst in the league.
The 3-1 looked at for a called strike 2, and the count runs full. And despite Cotuit's struggles in the first inning, we really haven't seen it affect them as they've been getting used to playing from behind the 8 ball. The payoff pitch on the way. Martinez hits this one hard on the ground. Advincula fields it on the hop. His throw in plenty of time as Martinez is set down for the second out.
Well, that's a great response there, even though it was a count that was slightly worked there by Martinez, 6 pitches, but able to finally get him down and get that second out of the frame. We've seen a lot of times Cotuit, while they really have struggled in the first inning pitching-wise, offensively they've been solid, and they've done a great job of getting strong responses, and we've seen that a couple of times this week, including last night where Joey Volchko gives up a run in the first inning, was able to respond and go 4 2/3. And you look at even the nights before that where they gave up plenty of base runners against Wareham on Friday night, but were able to escape that inning and getting the start that day. was Taylor C. So these guys in their Kettleers debuts, while they've maybe ran into some trouble early on, have been able to work themselves out of it.
We'll see if Tyler O'Neill can do so here, as the count is even at 1-1 against the designated hitter and cleanup hitter for YD, Ethan Petrie, who's crushed Cotuit pitching so far in the 2 games he's played against the Kettleers, 4 for 7 with 2 home runs. It's the 1-1 that's looked at downstairs for ball 2. And it's not just the Kettleers that Petrie has demolished baseballs against, hitting .364 through 20 games, 7 home runs, 17 RBIs. Ranks in the top 5 in home runs this summer. As the 2-1 pitch taken outside for ball 3, and O'Neill not giving anything to Petrie anywhere really near the strike zone.
Yeah, no, just pitch around him with the bases empty, 2 outs already. Don't want to give him anything too high up over the plate.
The 3-1, Petrie hits this one hard on the ground, fair down the left field line. Compton fields it, Petrie rounds first. He will head into second with a double. That's his 7th double this year, and the bats continue to come alive for YD here in the first.
Yeah, and that's a good example of why Ethan Petrie is such a great hitter. Just barely tucking that one down the left field line. He had that one on a string and barely passed Timo Becerra. But Ethan Petrie in a 3-1 count, you know he doesn't want to walk, wants to go up there and swing away. And continues his strong play there, that being his 7th double of the season.
So now that brings up Phoenix Call, who's played in all 3 games against Cotuit so far this summer, making the start in right field today. As O'Neill takes a look back at Petrie, fires the first pitch. That's taken outside for ball 1. Call hitting .256 through 29 games. Does have a home run and 8 RBIs, but has been really impressive on the base paths. 14 stolen bases for YD this summer, as the 1-0 pitch from O'Neill looked at for a called strike 1 on the outside corner.
Yeah, good pitch there from O'Neill. Phoenix Call thought it was a bit outside, but he needed that pitch, even it up at 1-1. As mentioned, got to get ahead of these batters, especially now with that runner on second.
Breaking ball in the dirt, kept in front by Grant J. So Petrie stays put at second. Tyler O'Neill this past year at Bucknell had a 5-5 record, a 4.89 ERA. Made 12 starts, just 1 appearance coming out of the bullpen. Tossed 70 innings, 71 strikeouts in those 70 innings. Did give up a lot of extra base hits. 29 out of the 80 hits that he gave up went for extra bases. As the 2-1 pitch rocketed right back up the middle, that'll get down into center field. Petrie gets the wave around third. Hall's throw from center field, not in time, as Grant Shea can't handle it. So Petrie scores from second, and moving up to second on the throw is Phoenix Call, as the Red Sox jump out to a 2-0 advantage still in the first.
Yeah, it's just like we saw last night, some 2-out offense from the opponent. Last night it was the Anglers, tonight it's the Red Sox, and that one there, just a seeing eye single straight back up the middle. Phoenix Call continues his strong play against the Kettleers, batting home Ethan Petrie, and they got a 2-0 ball game before the Kettleers even have a chance to hit.
Call now 5 for 11 against Cotuit this summer. That'll bring up Talmadge LaCroix. The first pitch to him gloved well outside by Jay. Going back to Tyler O'Neill in his junior season at Bucknell, Joe, this is a guy who, when his team needs him the most, he delivers through it. A complete game against Army where he tossed 140 pitches. And in an age where pitch counts are really at a premium and everyone's watching it, 140 pitches is no easy task.
No, I mean, just to finish your season like that, too, the season finale, that was in his last start this season. It's pretty incredible. I mean, 140 pitches, have to know he was feeling it, and a lot of times it's better to just let the guys ride.
A 1-1 offering taken outside for ball 2.
Yeah, it was a packed leaderboard at the top for the guys who were amongst all the pitchers who had 4 complete games this season. Only one had 5.
Running on the pitch was Call, but it's fouled, so the count evened up at 2-2. In that game, though, went, of course, the 9 innings, threw 140 pitches, allowed just 2 runs against Army on 6 hits, while striking out 8. That was in the semifinals of the Patriot League tournament. O'Neill looks back at Call. The 2-2 pitch hits off of Call, so that'll end the inning, as it was a line shot off the bat of Talmadge LaCroix and just hits off the leg of Phoenix Call. So that concludes the top of the first at Lowell Park, but not before YD jumps out to a 2-0 lead after a solo home run by Michael Ball and an RBI single by Phoenix Call. So we'll head to a quick commercial break here on the Kettleers Digital Network with YD leading Cotuit 2-0.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Bortolotti Construction is...
YD has gotten off to a fast start here at Lowell Park as they put up 2 runs in the top of the first, and they hand the ball off to their lefty Ethan Fireved, who's making his first start this summer with the Red Sox. And Joe, how do the Kettleers line up against the lefty?
Well, they'll once again have the man who's now standing alone in second place with 8 home runs in the CCBL, Tanner Thatch, leading things off, playing at first base. Nate Hall gets back into the lineup. He hasn't played in a game since last Thursday, playing in center field. Brandon Compton gets the start in left, batting third. Tyler Cerny gets his second straight start at shortstop and in the 4 spot in this lineup. Easton Winfield, after a couple games batting in the 2 hole, is back to 5, followed by Timo Becerra. Devin Taylor bats 7th. He's the DH. Then Grant J. and Jaron Advincula round out the order at 8 and 9.
So Tanner Thatch set to dig in against Ethan Fireved as it's a lefty-lefty matchup to begin the bottom of the first. The first offering Thatch with a big cut and misses the opening pitch from the lefty Fireved. This past season at Pitt, he went 2-3 at a 5.56 ERA. Did not start a game. Did make 20 appearances as the 0-1 pitch hit on the ground to the second baseman Michael Ball, who fields cleanly his throw in plenty of time as Tanner Thatch is set down on the 4-3 groundout.
Yeah, it was a tough day at the plate last night for Tanner Thatch in his first 3 trips up to the box, but then a home run, or excuse me, not a home run, but back-to-back base hits in the 7th and in the 8th innings. But Easton Winfield getting things started last night with a solo shot in the top of the first inning, but there's a chance that he won't be able to hit in this first frame.
Winfield hitting 5th, and now it's the 2-man in Mike Roberts' order, Nathan Hall, who's back in the lineup after a couple of games off, looks at a first pitch that's taken low and inside for ball 1. Hall playing in his 18th game so far this summer, hitting .370 as he waves through a pitch that was low in the dirt to even the count at 1-1. But Hall batting .370 with a home run, 6 RBIs. Also leads Cotuit with 5 stolen bases. As Fireved kicks and deals the 1-1. Laid off low for ball 2. Taking a look at how YD aligns defensively, Skylar King gets to start in left. RJ Austin, he mans in center field. Playing right field is Phoenix Call. Talmadge LaCroix is at the hot corner as Nathan Hall rips one foul down the left field line. Will Tippett gets to start at shortstop. Michael Ball plays second. Anthony Martinez starts at first, and Charlie Som is behind the dish with Ethan Fireved getting the ball for YD. So the count is even at 2-2 with one gone here in the inning. The 2-2 on the way to Hall. Fouled straight back into the fence. Ethan Hall making his first start since July 18th in a game against Chatham where he went 1 for 4 and scored twice. And Joe, what does it say about a guy like Hall who doesn't play every day but still when he finds himself in the lineup consistently produces as he foul tips another ball?
Yeah, I think it's just bringing the same exact approach to each and every game. He's a guy who, whether he's starting in the game, whether he knows he's not going to start in the game, doesn't change the way he prepares at all. And so I think that's really a massive key what you look at in Nathan Hall, and a guy who has already experienced being patient and not being in the lineup so much when he was with his time at Clemson, but of course moving on to South Carolina this upcoming season.
The 2-2 pitch in the dirt gets away from the catcher. Sam Hall will run down to first, but he is called out. So Nathan Hall goes down on strikes, and 2 are gone here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, tough strikeout there for Hall, but is still able to work the count up. And going into this ball game was 9 of his last 16. And more to your point, where he's kind of had to be patient and not get into the lineup each and every day. That was dating back all the way to July 9th. So it just tells you that it's a big revolving door for Mike Roberts in his outfield. A ton of different guys getting looks.
Now that brings up Brandon Compton, who looks at a first pitch outside and low for ball 1. Compton playing in his 28th game this summer. Recently was named to the All-Star team. Has had a monster season, batting .300, 4 home runs, 22 RBIs. That's tied for the team lead with a fellow All-Star, Tanner Thatch. Compton blasted his first home run since the 4th of July last night against Chatham. Was a 3-run shot. That gave Cotuit all the insurance runs that they could need in the 11-5 victory.
And it was first responders night last night. So honoring America before the game, also hitting a home run on the 4th of July. Is there a coincidence here?
Brandon Compton, clearly big America guy.
Yeah.
Big if true.
For sure. And tonight being Bark at the Park?
Who knows? Brandon Compton does reach on the 5-pitch walk as he keeps the inning alive. The first Kettleer to reach so far today, and now that brings up Tyler Cerny.
Well, if you could tell, they were playing a massive shift on that infield there with Will Tippett, the shortstop, pretty much playing directly behind that second base bag and pretty much right in your view of home plate. So sorry about that, but they'll return to their normal positions with Tyler Cerny at the plate, who just continues to smash the baseball and had one leave the ballpark a couple of nights ago here at Lowell Park. That's what he's trying to do here to knot up this ball game.
Running on the pitch is Compton. The first offering from Fireved well outside. The throw down not in time as Brandon Compton swipes second base as he moves into scoring position. Still with 2 outs in the inning. That's Compton's first stolen base this summer.
Yeah, like to see the aggressiveness, especially with a lefty out there on the mound too. Got a good jump at first, no hesitation, and might as well test the arm of Charlie Somm behind home plate. Talmadge LaCroix is the everyday catcher for Yarmouth Dennis, but getting the start at third base today because of the great arm that he has.
Fireved takes a look back at Compton, now comes home with the 1-0 pitch. That's Cerny. Hits into left field. Going back is King. Reaching all the way up, bangs off the fence, and that ball will fall as Tyler Cerny stands up with a 2-out double. Coming in to score is Brandon Compton, and boy did Tyler Cerny crush it. Sent Skylar King all the way back to the wall, but he couldn't make the grab as Cotuit makes it a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, Tyler Cerny had no idea what went on there too. The left fielder King was going back to the fence and then made the catch originally, but then banging into the fence, the ball popped out of his glove, and luckily for him that he didn't actually lose that ball over the fence. Otherwise it could have been a home run for Cerny, but for him it bounces in front of him. And so Tyler Cerny didn't quite know that he had himself at least a base hit there. We'll see how they rule it. No ruling just yet, but another extra base knock if it stands for Tyler Cerny.
So it is ruled a double for Tyler Cerny. That's his 5th. this summer, picks up RBI number 6, as now it's the right fielder Easton Winfield. 1-0 is the count. The pitch on the way, big swing and miss there by Winfield, who's playing in his second game this summer against YD. Notched his first hit against the Red Sox, or first hit this summer against the Red Sox, went 3 for 4 with a trio of singles, also scored twice in the game just 6 days ago in that 8-8 tie at Red Wilson Field. As Winfield, big swing there, tipped into the glove of Som. Winfield blasted his first home run as a Kettleer last night. Ball that traveled 429 feet out of Veterans Field. He's 8 for 23 so far this summer, hitting at a 348 clip. As Cerny still leads off second, Fireved kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch. A towering fly ball off the bat of Winfield. Giving it a look is LaCroix. But that ball will fall down the left field line.
A lot of foul territory down that left field line, and LaCroix getting his first looks at that. Of course, this will be his first game played at Lowell Park this season. Got the start behind the dish the last time these two teams played, and that was his season debut, so he'll have to get used to the deep foul territory that's down that left field line, having to deal with the shadows, and luckily for Easton Winfield, his at-bat continues at 1-2.
Winfield with extra base hits in his last 5, as the 1-2 pitch to him chops slowly as he stays alive now. "20 pitches for Ethan Fireved. 13 strikes. Recorded a lot of punch-outs at Pitt this past season was Fireved, 58 in 45 1/3 innings pitched. That was the second most of any Panther. The 1-2 on the way to Winfield. Got him looking. Fireved dots the inside corner. The Cotuit faithful disagrees with the call, but Easton Winfield punched out on strikes as Ethan Fireved records a strikeout of Nathan Hall and Easton Winfield, but not before Tyler Cerny blasts his 5th double of the summer. That scores Brandon Compton. So Cotuit cuts the deficit just to 1 here after 1 as we head to the top of the second, with YD leading the Kettleers 2-1 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Both offenses are coming to play today through the first inning here at Lowell Park. YD puts up 2 in the top half of the inning, and Cotuit responds back after the RBI double by Tyler Cerny. As now it's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up for the Red Sox, as Charlie Som, the catcher, digging in for his first at-bat against Tyler O'Neill.
I had to like what you saw last inning from Tyler O'Neill. Other than that home run and the double, was able to work and pitch to some weak contact, and then the first inning ending on a single of Talmadge LaCroix that actually hit Phoenix Call, who was running from second to third, so that went down as a single with a 6 unassisted. So I guess Tyler Cerny will take the putout even though he never touched the baseball.
So YD in that top of the first, 2 runs on 4 hits. They left 1 guy on base. 1-0 is the count here. 1-0 pitch on the way. taken beneath the knees for ball 2. Sam playing in his 16th game this summer. Has struggled mightily at the dish, however, just 4 for 36. However, 2 of those 4 hits have left the yard. Also has 4 RBIs. As the 2-0 from O'Neill, chopped on the ground to the shortstop, Cerny, running in his throw in plenty of time. So Charlie Sam is retired to begin this top of the second.
Tyler Cerny already tested a couple times in the middle infield there. You see Timo Becerra getting his 4th start at third base this season, got his 3rd start there last night in Chatham, and it seems like the left side of that infield continuing to be tied down by those two. Also have Nolan Naraki coming off of the bench and Timo Becerra being able to play both of those positions on the left side. So really good for Mike Roberts to have a couple of different guys at his disposal to play shortstop and third base.
A plethora of options for Mike Roberts. Seen him rotate a bunch of times with Naraki, Hansen, Timo Becerra, Tyler Cerny, so a lot of depth players. For Cotuit is now it's Skylar King. The 1-0 offering looked at for a called strike 1. So that evens the count up at 1-1 against King, who's playing in his first game this summer. Was just added to YD's roster yesterday. Coming off of a season at West Virginia where he hit .270 with 5 home runs and 8 doubles. As the 1-1 pitch taken outside for ball 2. O'Neill kicks and deals the 2-1 offering. This one dribbled slowly down the third base line as Becerra lets it roll foul. And Joe, how crucial is it for Tyler O'Neill, who struggled in that first inning, to get a couple of quick outs here for his confidence in inning number 2?
Oh, it'd be super huge. I mean, we've seen it in a couple other Kettleers guys making their debuts, mainly being Thatcher Hurd, who struggled in his first start against Bourne, where he walked a couple guys, hit a batter, gave up a run or so, and so that's really what happened last inning. You can't really complain about a guy who's throwing strikes and the ball is getting hit. You just got to figure out a way to sequence your pitches a bit better. Of course, getting ahead of batters so you don't have to float some get-me-over pitches over the heart of the zone. That's always important.
The 2-2 pitch got him swinging. Skylar King goes down on strikes as Tyler O'Neill picks up his first strikeout as a Kettleer, and quickly 2 are gone here in the second.
Well, anytime you can do that with a fastball with the arm side run on that, the way Tyler O'Neill has, low and outside to Skylar King, breaking away from his bat. I mean, that's just a perfect pitch to throw in that situation. Goes back to the fastball there at 2-2 and picks up his first strikeout as a Kettleer.
You saw Tyler O'Neill really ring up the strikeouts as this pitch rocketed right back up the middle. O'Neill has to duck out of the way off the bat of Will Tippett. So he picks up a 2-out single, and once again, YD's 2-out offense coming alive here.
And it's just tough to see there from Tyler O'Neill, who cruised through those first 2 batters well. Looked like he was settling into this game, but still an opportunity. But that just brings all that more importance to the 9 spot in the order, because you give a guy like R.J. Austin, one of the best hitters in this league, another opportunity at the plate in just the second inning. So to give a guy 2 opportunities at the plate, a guy in R.J. Austin, you don't want to be doing that. But still an opportunity to get out of this inning and send Austin to 0 for 2.
Austin saw just 2 pitches in his first at-bat as that ball pops off the glove of Grant J. Just couldn't squeeze it in. As moving up to second is Will Tippett. He will put the brakes on after rounding the base. Thought about heading for 3, but he stops at second after the wild pitch, or the pass ball, excuse me.
Yeah, that one just popping in and out of the glove of Grant J, as he just mentioned. Going all the way back to the backstop. We've seen him mishandle a couple of baseballs, not always on pitches, but also throws that come in from the outfield, from the cutoff men. So Grant J, we know he's put a lot of time in with Coach Mike Roberts at the plate, but also behind the dish, having to do a good job there.
R.J. Austin blasted his second home run this summer as O'Neill steps off. Diving back in head first is Tippett at second. That wasn't the only impressive play that R.J. Austin made last night. Also robbed a home run a couple of innings prior. Said after the game that he got a good read off the bat, felt the fence, and everything else was just moving in slow motion as he made the incredible grab. As he falls behind here 0-2 against O'Neill. O'Neill takes a look back at Tippett, now comes home with the 0-2 pitch. This one low in the dirt, kept in front by Jay.
Yeah, talk about putting the whole team on your back. I mean, robbing a home run to keep them in the game and then hitting a home run to continue to keep them into the game, tie up the score. But at the end, it ended up being another game called due to darkness at YD after 8 innings, a 7-7 tie with Falmouth.
Austin goes the other way, hits this one into straightaway right field. Making the grab is Easton Winfield for the third and final out. So the 2-out base knock by Will Tippett does not come back to bite Tyler O'Neill as he strands him on second as we head to the bottom half of the inning. With the Red Sox leading the Kettleers 2-1 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Bortolotti Construction.
Six, 7, and 8 due up for the Kettleers here in the bottom of the second. Alex Rocco joined alongside by Joe Pratt. And a couple of special guests appearing on the broadcast in a little bit as the game rolls on. But Timo Becerra digs in for his first at-bat so far today. Becerra playing in his second game against YD, making his first start. Saying a couple of words to his college teammate at Stanford, Charlie Somm, who gets to start behind the dish. Always good to see players who play together at the collegiate level playing against each other here on the Cape. So Ethan Fireved returns to the mound. This one speared right to Anthony Martinez, who plays it on a hop. Makes a really nice play over there at first base as Timo Becerra is set down after just one pitch.
Another hard hit ball by Becerra. Got our first looks at him in the 9th spot in the lineup last night. He went 1 for 4 and kind of an interesting play where he hit a sacrifice fly, or at least it appeared to be, in left field. But then Tyler Cerny was doubled up on that sac fly at third base. So you were saying last night, technically that doesn't go down as an RBI for Timo Becerra. Is that right?
That play eventually got changed. They
Really?
did credit an RBI to Timo Becerra.
Nice.
So that was RBI number 4 for Becerra, as now it's an 0-1 count against the designated hitter, Devin Taylor. Count evened up at 1-1 here.
I mean, it would make sense. There's a lot of very particular rules in this league, especially when you talk about when you take a pitcher out of the game in the middle of a count. Pitcher has to throw into a 2-1 count, so much similarly to right here. Let's say Scott Pickler decides to take Fireved out of the game for whatever reason. The next pitcher would not be responsible for what happens in the AB.
The 2-1 from the lefty. Fouled straight back into the parking lot off the bat of Taylor. A bunch of kids fight for that ball over there.
Someone's bumper just took a baseball to it off of a short hop, skipped into the parking lot where a lot of the interns park.
The 2-2 spoiled away once again by Taylor.
But you don't park over there. You like to park in Vietnam, like way out there.
I do. So we can get into this in a little bit as the count evened up at 2-2 against Taylor. Another foul ball dribbled down the first baseline. My reasoning for it, of course, I want to protect my car, but also I'm so used to making long walks when I broadcast games at school. It's always been a habit where I like to throw in the AirPods, listen to some music pregame, and just kind of fires me up and gets ready to broadcast.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
My own little superstition, I know Adele Huffman always likes to ask the players what their superstitions are, but sometimes broadcasters can have superstitions too. There's a pretty breaking ball laid off for ball 3 as Taylor continuing to battle in this at-bat.
yeah, another great battle work by Taylor. I mean, how many times have we been able to say that this season? Seems like every time he's up there, he works it full.
Taylor hitting .310 this year, hits this one hard on the ground to the second baseman, Ball, who fields it on a hop his throw in plenty of time to nab Devin Taylor.
Yeah, just a little rollover there from Devin Taylor. Gets ahead of that pitch from Fireved. And a good pitch at that. Not many guys will want to go to the breaking ball with the 3-2 count, but does so there to get Taylor on weak contact. So 3 straight retired by Firebed, and doing a nice job of responding well after not being helped too much in left field by his defense.
Fireved so far today, 31 pitches, 21 strikes through an inning and 2/3. Pitch number 32, well low in the dirt as Grant Jay watches it go by. Jay getting the start tonight after sitting last night against Chatham as the 1-0 pitch, big cut on and missed in a breaking ball in the dirt. That evens the count up at 1-1. Jay so far this year against YD, 1 for 7. Blasted his first home run against the Red Sox. Also has 4 RBIs. That pitch hits Grant Jay, so he will make the slow trek down to first base after getting plunked by that pitch low in the dirt. So Cotuit once again putting a runner on base with 2 gone in the inning.
Take a base runner any way you can get it there. Grant Jay getting hit by the pitch. First time, or actually the second time in his last 3 starts that he's been hit by a pitch for Grant Jay. So anything to boost that on-base percentage, but still you'd like to see him continue to connect with a few pitches at the plate, work his way out of the rough stretch at the dish. Not behind the dish, has been continuing to play a pretty solid catcher's position, but needing to find his footing at the dish once more.
So now it's Jaron Advincula digging in. Advincula once again batting in the 9 hole as back-to-back pickoff moves. Jay still in standing. Advincula's batting average continues to sit above 400, 409 so far this campaign. Working against the lefty Fireved, his first pitch, an off-speed pitch that's laid off inside. And Advincula, Joe, I think one of the most impressive things about him is his numbers against lefties, and usually lefty hitters struggle when they're facing a lefty, but Jaron Advincula this year hitting .472 as he goes the other way here, and that'll get in for another base hit. Grant Jay makes the turnaround second. He will head back to the bag. Jaron Advincula thought he was going to stretch it to extra bases. It has to put the brakes on as Cotuit picks up another base hit as they have runners on first and second.
And you were talking about his production against lefties right there, right on cue. Advincula shows us why. Putting it down the left field line the opposite way for him, and pretty much just slaps that ball. Notices that YD is playing a massive shift to the pull side for him, and he takes advantage of it. They might want to rethink about doing that once again against Advincula, but another massive reason as to why he's in the 9 spot in the order. It flips back over to Tanner Thatch with 2 gone and 2 on for the Kettleers.
Advincula now 17 for 36 against lefties this year, hitting .472. Now that brings up the leadoff man, Tanner Thatch. The first offering spiked in the dirt, kept in front by Som. Advincula's batting average now skyrockets up to .415. So now it's Thatch, 1-0 in the count. Thatch is 0 for 1 today. Fireved throws another breaking ball that Thatch wisely lays off. We've talked about it over the last 2 games, Joe, just how important Tanner Thatch and what he's meant to this Kettleer offense. He's been on a tear in the box, hitting .281. His average was really nearly below 200, but has been on an absolute tear over the last few games. As a pickoff move, Jay back in standing.
Yeah, started off the season 0 for 9. Didn't get his first hit until Game 3 it was at Wareham, but since then, been on a tear.
Fireved kicks and deals. The 2-0 pitch looked at right down the heart of the plate for strike one. And it's not just his offense that has been impressive. Thatch making a bunch of really outstanding defensive plays over at first base, saving a lot of errors by the Kettleers infield. As the 2-1 pitch, Thatch hits this one into right field. That'll dunk down in front of Phoenix Call. Grant J gets the wave around third. The relay throw skips over the glove of Martinez as Grant J comes in safely. And it's another RBI single for Tanner Thatch as Cotuit evens the score at 2.
2 RBIs last night for Tanner Thatch, already won today. 23 so far on the season to regain the #1 spot on this team with runs driven in. Now 23 as just mentioned, and that one there. Tough to tell if the first baseman Martinez was trying to cut that ball off or not, but he likely took a bit of steam off of it as Grant J was charging in from third. He was able to score pretty much easily. And so for Cotuit to tie up this ball game with 2 outs in the frame, Tanner Thatch, that's what happens when you get behind in the count against him. He's going to be fishing for the pitch that he wants. He gets it right there and makes no mistake.
2 2-out RBIs for Cotuit so far through 2 innings. As Nathan Hall digs in for his second at-bat. 1-0 is the count on him after the breaking ball missed outside. To the Kettleers center fielder, who struck out, one of 2 strikeouts so far for Ethan Fireved, whose pickoff move Thatch back in standing. Also moving up to third on that play, Jaron Advincula, a lot of speed over there. So the Kettleers have runners on the corners with 2 gone in the inning. This game evened up at 2. Fireved takes a look back at Thatch, now comes home with the 1-0 pitch. That gets in the dirt, gets away from Som. Moving up to second is Thatch, staying put at third is Advincula.
And they said he did go around. First base umpire Michael Caraco issuing the strike there to Nathan Hall. So it'll be a 1-2 count to him, having a battle here with now 2 runners in scoring position.
So a big spot up here for Nathan Hall. 2 runners on as the 1-1 offering in the dirt as Hall waves through it. The scoreboard here at Lowell Park showing a 1-2 count. So a little confusion on the scoreboard, but now the count is 1-2 against Nathan Hall.
Confused me there for a second. Jinxed it. But now he's going to have to battle here.
The 1-2 on the way on the inside corner, but laid off for ball 2. We've seen Nathan Hall thrive in situations like these before, coming up in clutch moments as he has 2 runners on with 2 gone in the inning. 6 RBIs so far for the Lexington, South Carolina native as Hall rips this one foul down the third baseline, kicks off the Kettleer dugout. Goes right to Talmadge LaCroix, standing at the hot corner. So Fireved steps back on the rubber. Now comes home with the 2-2 offering to Hall. Another foul ball straight back.
It's a great at-bat here from Nathan Hall. And more to your point, Alex, with 2 outs in the inning, Nathan Hall batting at a .471 clip, has driven in a couple of runs, 8 hits. That is second on the team, only to Jaron Advincula, who stands 90 feet away.
Hall with runners in scoring position this year, hitting .308 with a home run and 6 RBIs. The 2-2 once more to Hall. Thought about the swing, lays off. So he works the count full here. That was the 7th pitch of the at-bat from Ethan Fireved as his pitch count continues to rise. It's now up to 47 pitches. Jaron Advincula leads off third. Tanner Thatch off second. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Got him swinging. Ethan Fireved fans Nathan Hall for the 2nd time today, stranding Jaron Advincula on third and Tanner Thatch off second, but not before Cotuit evens the score at 2 after the RBI single for Tanner Thatch. But before we send it to a commercial break, we'll bring on Jimmy Middleton at field level.
Sorry, boys, no Adele tonight. You're stuck with me. In the wise words of our good friend Will Thompson, the kettle is hot. Over the last 7 games, Cotuit is 6-1, and that one being a tie. They've outscored opponents 58-33, with the defense only allowing 33 runs. In that 7-game span, the Kets also took sole possession of first place in the division. With Tanner Thatch tying the game up at 2 in that inning, let's see if the Kets can keep this run going. So I'm going to send it back up to you guys, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. Always appreciate the great insight. Just excellent stuff from Jimmy once again, filling in for Adele Huffman today. And always good to have Jimmy on the broadcast. Chatted with him last night in the 9th inning at Chatham, and just a great baseball mind and giving his thoughts about Cotuit this season.
Yeah, the kettles are hot, as Will Thompson says. That's exactly what Jimmy echoed right there, and that's exactly right. I mean, haven't lost a game since last Thursday, July 11th, I believe it was, that 14-4 loss. The run rule, or it wasn't a run rule loss, but it was a loss by 10 to the Harbor Hawks, and that one there clearly putting a bad taste in the Kettleers' mouths, really responding well this past week, not losing a single ball game, have not lost in 6 games, 5-0-1 in that span, one tie being against this YD team. But yeah, they're looking to bring this strong play into the final game before an off day tomorrow, and then hitting the road to Hyannis and Orleans before the All-Star break.
And it's been a great stretch of baseball for the Kettleers this month of July, and it really didn't start off that way. As flashing back to the beginning part of the month of July, had a 1-3 start, and really things weren't looking too promising for Cotuit in the month of July, but similar start in June to a similar start in July, and they've really rebounded so far. Leading things off here in the top of the 3rd is Michael Ball, who looks at a first pitch strike from Tyler O'Neill. Ball crushed his first home run of the summer in just the second at-bat of the game. Went 380 feet, 96 miles an hour off the bat as he hits another fly ball, this time into center field. Nathan Hall tracking it and gloves it down for the first out.
Yeah, Hall taking that one to deep right center there. So following up the home run that went to left field, that one actually going to right center that time, so showing the opposite field power, showing the pull side power, and Michael Ball retired for the first time today.
Anthony Martinez, the first baseman, digging in for his second at-bat so far. 0 for 1, bounced out to Jaron Advincula at second. First offering high and outside to the lefty Martinez, who played on the U.S. Collegiate National Team. A bunch of his fellow teammates, R.J. Austin being one of them, Drew Burris another. As the 1-0 Martinez, that's outside for ball 2. And he said that it was one of the best experiences that he's ever had, and was an unforgettable experience. And also considering Anthony Martinez and his dad being a veteran, so it was just so super special to represent his country and wearing the USA across his chest. As he skies a pop-up down the first base line, Tanner Thatch running a long way. That ball will find the grass just to the right side of the fence, as it's a long foul ball off the bat of Martinez. Martinez was also a vital piece to Team USA. On the walk-off win for Team USA on July 4th, he made a diving catch at first base to end the 7th inning. So Neal kicks and deals the 2-1 pitch. This one smacked hard on the ground on the first base line. That one just goes foul.
Yeah, making his way to that roster, rightfully so. Playing at UC Irvine, .316 hitter this past season there, and we got to see another anteater go yard last night, Will Bermudez for the Chatham Anglers. So nice to see that UCI representation up here on the Cape making an impact.
The 2-2, low in the dirt, so Martinez works the count full here. .46 pitches for Tyler O'Neill through 2 1/3. As the righty rocks back, comes home with the 3-2 pitch. As Anthony Martinez will take the stroll down to first base. He reaches as there's still one gone here in this third.
Yeah, good at-bat there, worked by Martinez. Ends up being his 9th walk of the summer. And continuing to improve upon that on-base percentage that was above 350 going into this ball game. But now he'll take his lead at first, and it's 3 straight innings with a base runner for the Red Sox.
Pickoff move. Martinez dives back in safely as O'Neill had a lot of velocity on that throw back to first. Digging in is Ethan Petrie, 1 for 1 today with a double, came around to score off the single by Phoenix Call, who stands in the on-deck circle. The first offering to Petrie, swing away, fouls that down the first base line as that'll go over the grandstand on the first base side. Another packed house here at Lowell Park. A lot of fans down the left field line. 3 rows deep in their lawn chairs. The home grandstand filled up. So a little bit of open area on the grandstand on the first base side. But fans aligning the fence as this one a little nubbler hit off the bat of Petrie. That one touched foul by Thatch. Also fans in their lawn chairs in left field, left center field. So another packed house here at Lowell Park.
Yeah, another great crowd on hand. We've been given the opportunity to see a lot of great crowds this season at Lowell Park. Big reason for that, great weather. Not to jinx it or anything, but
the 0-2 pitch got him swinging. Ethan Petrie down on strikes. It's the second strikeout for Tyler O'Neill today, and there are 2 outs here in this third.
that's not an easy thing to do, to get Ethan Petrie on 3 pitches. First it was the foul ball there, and then responding after a slight pause after the next foul ball. And then he goes up and inside to try to tie him up, and does so beautifully, does O'Neill, and finds his 2nd strikeout of the outing.
Another pickoff move. Martinez dives back in safely. The 14th strikeout of the summer for Ethan Petrie, and that's something he came to the Cape this summer looking to minimize. His chase rate and cutting down on the swing and miss. It's definitely done so far. As Call squares around a bunt, pulls back, but it's in there for strike 1.
Back-to-back at-bats where Phoenix Call has just not been happy with a pitch called for a strike on the outer edge. That one there, he looked confident that it was a bit too far outside, and if I'm Tyler O'Neill, I'm just hammering that part of the zone.
We'll see if O'Neill goes back to the outside corner on the 0-1 pitch. This one rocketed. That'll get through into left field, splitting Becerra and Cerny on the left side of the infield. As Compton relays that ball in, as Phoenix Call picks up his 2nd single today, as YD has runners on first and second with 2 outs.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to. It was a little bit low and outside as we see it on the Cape Cod League website diagram, but that one there, splitting the defenders as you mentioned, playing slightly staggered over there on the left side, and Becerra, who was even with the bag after the bunt play, was playing back originally, so just brings that much more importance to that bunt shown on the first pitch, bringing the third baseman up, and then is able to shoot it right by him on the next one. And so now, with 2 runners on and 2 gone in this third inning, Mike Roberts will go to the bullpen for the first time.
So Phoenix Call will be the last batter that Tyler O'Neill faces as he goes 2 2/3 innings pitched, allows 6 hits, 2 runs. However, the 2 base runners, if they do come in to score, would be his responsibility. Did walk a batter and struck out 2. As with the new arm coming into the game for Cotuit, we'll step aside for a quick commercial break here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
When you need to be seen for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
When you need to be seen for a minor illness or
Operating
injury,
on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Operating.
Mike Roberts goes from one Bucknell pitcher to another as Jack O'Malley relieves Tyler O'Neill. As O'Malley coming out of the bullpen in a tough spot with runners on first and second. There are 2 outs here in this top of the third with YD and Cotuit even at 2. And this is O'Malley's first appearance so far with the Kettleers.
Yeah, Jack O'Malley out of Bucknell just finished up his freshman year there. We had a 9.28 ERA, 32 innings pitched. He struck out 50 in that span while walking 37. Did allow the long ball 4 times, but he's making his way here after playing in the California Collegiate League, played down in San Diego. 6.48 ERA there, and fitting for O'Malley to return to the California Collegiate League as he's from Newport Beach, Irvine, California area, southern Orange County, so he makes his way in for his first appearance for the Cats this summer on the Cape.
The first batter he will face is Talmadge LaCroix. As the tall righty kicks and deals the 93-mile-an-hour heater well low and outside. LaCroix today 1 for 1, but of course his first hit, I would say, went right off of Phoenix call that ended the top of the first. It's another fastball well outside as Jay stumbled to make the grab there, barely keeping it in front.
But a good job to do so. I mean, to keep those base runners where they're at is exactly what he's trying to do. And for O'Malley, he's just trying to pound the box, but falling behind here 2-0 to LaCroix.
A 3-pitch mix for O'Malley, a fastball, a changeup, and curveball. As he goes to the fastball there, gets one over. Count now goes to 2-1. Talmadge LaCroix picked up his first home run in his first game against Cotuit this season. That was in the last outing just 6 days ago. Said he was looking for a pitch to hit, and he was glad he was able to put it out as this one goes back to the backstop. So both runners will advance. Martinez stands on third. Call moves up to second.
Yeah, not much Jay can do on that one. It's in the lefty batter's box trying to backhand it, and now with a 3-1 count, let's see how they deal with Talmadge LaCroix, because he scorched a ball on the infield his last time up. Unfortunately hit his teammate Phoenix Call, who's now standing on second base, the exact same spot he was, but we'll see if they elect to just go to pitch to Charlie Somm, who's on deck.
O'Malley peers in, kicks and deals the 3-1 offering on the outside corner, but just too far outside. As LaCroix works a walk as YD is low to the bases. That'll draw Mike Roberts out from his dugout once again.
So losing his first batter on balls is not the first time we've seen this season. It's actually going to be the third time we've seen this season. First, it was Mark Hindy in June. Dylan Howanitz a couple of days ago walking the only batter he faced. And now Jack O'Malley in his season debut will face one batter. He walked him. The bases will be juiced. And still with 2 gone in this third, Mike Roberts goes to the bullpen once more.
So Jack O'Malley comes out of the bullpen, throws just 5 pitches. 1 for a strike, and puts on Talmadge LaCroix after the walk. So the bases are loaded for YD as O'Malley's day is done. Charlie Som is set to do up and hit with the bases loaded and 2 outs, but we'll step aside for another commercial break here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Since 19...
Dylan Hawanitz is the new arm for Mike Roberts' squad. Hawanitz making his 3rd appearance this summer and 2nd against the YD Red Sox. His first outing with the Kettleers was against YD, that back just 6 days ago, and went an inning, allowed 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, walked 2 and struck out 1 while tossing 39 pitches and 21 for strikes. So the bases are loaded. Anthony Martinez stands on 3rd, Call off 2nd, and LaCroix off 1st. As that one nearly goes back to the backstop as a sprawling stab there by Grant J. keeps that ball in front.
Great play by Grant J, having to go to the back corner of that lefty batter's box, and with the bases juiced, plays like that, even more amplified.
Tom today 0 for 1. Grounded out to Tyler Cerny at shortstop as Hawanitz evens the count at 1-1. 3-pitch mix for Hawanitz, a fastball, slider, and changeup. As the Submariner deals the 1-1 offering taken at the letters, but outside for ball 2.
Yeah, it looked like that was potentially the fastball there, a changeup at 79 miles an hour. Not really going to throw anything above 81 is Hawanitz.
This is high and outside again as Som in the driver's seat up 3-1 as Hawanitz, there's nowhere to put him. The base is loaded. YD and Cotuit even at 2 in a matchup of the 2 best teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League as the 3-1 pitch hammered on the ground foul down the 3rd base line.
You wonder if he wants to go back to that slider here, pitch it low and outside, but again, as you mentioned, these are 2 teams that are going to make you pay when you put a lot of guys on base freely, especially with those walks. LaCroix working the walk. Anthony Martinez stands at 3rd. He walked with 1 out in this inning. And so for Dylan Hawanitz, he really struggled with throwing strikes his last time out and in his first time out at YD, where he walked a couple batters. You brought up the amount of strikes that he threw divided by his pitches, 21 to 39, so nearly 50-50. But needs to find that finishing pitch here. Nowhere to put him, as you said.
Bases loaded, 2 out, 2-2 is the score. Hawanitz kicks and deals the payoff pitch. Som spoils that as the foul ball goes over the first base grandstand. Sam enjoyed a career season this past year at Stanford. Played in 32 games and hit .283 with 8 home runs and 22 RBIs. But is standing up in a big spot with the game even at 2 as the 3-2 pitch taken for ball 4 on the inside corner. As Sam works the RBI walk, flips the bat. So it's an RBI walk for Charlie Sam as the Red Sox take a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, they said it clipped his wrist. That's what the home plate umpire, Sam Finn, said. Barely grazed it. Could hear a little sound from up here in the booth, but Charlie Sam, that one likely would have been high and inside anyway, so is able to make his way to first, and the bases will stay juiced with a newfound lead for the Red Sox.
Skylar King thought about bunting, then pulled back, but it was a first pitch strike from Hwanitz. King in his first at-bat on the Cape struck out swinging against Cotuit starter Tyler O'Neill, who fanned just 2 hitters as King hits this one on the ground to Cerny. Fields cleanly. A high throw goes over the head of Tanner Thatch. 1 run comes in to score. Another follows him as King slides in safely at second after the fielding miscue at Tyler Cerny, who made the play, but his throw well high over the 6'4" Tanner Thatch. And the miscue by Cerny plates another 2 runs for YD as they now lead 5-2.
Yeah, that ball just sailing on Tyler Cerny, who fielded it cleanly, didn't set his feet, through at the edge of the grass there, and just airmails Tanner Thatch well above first. You knew it from the release of his hands, and he knew it too. Really frustrated with himself after missing the mark on that play. And now an opportunity for YD to really blow this game open. They now lead it by 3 with 2 runners in scoring position still.
Phoenix Call and Talmadge LaCroix came in to score off the error by Cerny, as Charlie Sam stands on third and Skylar King at second. 1-0 is the count against Will Tippett. Tippett today 1 for 1, hitting in the 9th spot of the YD order as Hwanitz evens the count at 1-1. It's the 5th fielding error for Tyler Cerny this season. As Hwanitz peers in, gets the sign from Jay. Glove set, kicks and deals the 1-1, offering that one in the opposite batter's box as Jay makes the stab.
His first error in 6 games, too. So really doing a nice job of cutting down on those errors on the infield. We saw him make a few earlier on this season.
Tippett rockets this one to Advincula at second, who watches it go into his glove. His throw in plenty of time to get Will Tippett at first, but not before YD puts up 3 runs. 2 coming in after the fielding error by Tyler Cerny as we head to the bottom half of the inning, with the Red Sox leading the Kettleers 5-2 here on the
Cape Cod League All-Star Game is just a few weeks away. Cheer on your favorite Kettleers as they square off with some of the best players on the Cape. This year's game will be played in Falmouth on July 27th. The gates open up at 1:30 p.m. ahead of the 6 o'clock first pitch. All-Star Game tickets can be found at www.capecodleague.com/allstargame. Or you can find out more information about the tickets at the Kettleers store.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there. Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
The Cape Cod.
It's time for another edition of Catch Trivia presented by the Cotuit Library. The question today is this 1988 Kettleer played 14 seasons with the California and Anaheim Angels, playing a pivotal role in their 2002 World Series title. His nickname was Kingfish, resonating with current Angel Mike Trout. So if you know that answer, drop it into the comments if you're watching on YouTube. Certainly a player who had a lot of historical moments with the Angels, as now it's Brandon Compton who looks at a first pitch strike from the starter Ethan Fireved, who comes out to the mound for his third inning of work. Compton today worked a walk in his first at bat, worked a 2-out walk in the bottom of the first, came in to score after the RBI double by Tyler Cerny. That made it a 2-1 ball game. Cotuit evened the score just an inning later after the RBI single by Tanner Thatch, as the 1-1 pitch looked at for strike 2. So Compton falls behind here. As Fireved takes a long look in, now gets set, out of the windup, kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch, leaves the fastball high and outside.
Yeah, Fireved having to weather the storm, allowed 2 runs to the Kettleers so far, both with 2 outs in the inning, and 2-out production is something that Cotuit has relied upon a lot in their last 2 games.
Compton goes the other way, hits this one on the ground to Talmadge LaCroix at third, makes the long throw, but not in time as Brandon Compton legs it out. So Cotuit picks up another base hit as they get the leadoff man on to begin the bottom half of the third.
That's exactly what they needed, too. First time today that they've been able to put the leadoff man on. Neither has YD, and so for them to try to get this offense going, get back into the ball game, this is one of those innings for YD. It's called a put-away inning, where they put up runs in the top half of the frame, and then in the bottom of the third, you're trying to go out there and put a 0 up on the scoreboard. Cotuit trying to prevent that, and the heart of this lineup has been productive in this 6-game lossless streak, I guess you could call it, where they're 5-0-1 with the tie. But as mentioned before, with 3 RBIs with 2 outs last night, 4 the previous night, already 2 today, 2-out production has been at a premium for the Kets.
Back-to-back pickoff moves as Compton in standing both times. So Tyler Cerny digs in. 1 for 1 today, blasted an RBI double in the first inning. That was the 5th double of the season for Cerny, 6th RBI. As Fireved falls behind in the count 1-0. Against the Kettleers shortstop, who's hitting .205 this season. Cerny looking to bounce back from the fielding error he committed in the top half of this inning, as Fireved misses a pitch beneath the knees of Cerny. Cerny playing in another game against YD this year, came into today 1 for 9. Now he's 2 for 10 with a double and 2 runs scored. As Compton leads off first, this one dribbled to LaCroix at third. He goes to second for 1, his throw in time as he nails Compton. Reaching first on the fielder's choice is Cerny.
Good job there by LaCroix just to get that first out, and had to throw all the way across his body, deep down the third base line. Try to get the lead runner there at second, does so beautifully, and Tyler Cerny will be the man on first with 1 gone. And any chance the Kettleers are able to keep base runners on base is a good thing, but have to appreciate that play by Talmadge LaCroix, who's usually an everyday catcher, but making a difference for YD playing at the hot corner.
Fireved keeping Cerny close over there off the first base bag. Cotuit does have a stolen base already today. Brandon Compton swiped his first bag back in the first inning. As Cerny dancing off first. This pitch low in the dirt, kept in front by Som. Cerny does have a lot of speed. Recorded his 4th stolen base last night. Sits 1 behind Nathan Hall for the team lead as Hall has 5. 1-0 is the count against Easton Winfield, as he foul tips this one into the glove of Som to even the count up at 1-1. Winfield today 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. One of 3 strikeouts so far today for the starter Ethan Fireved. Pitch clock reads 5. The lefty kicks and deals. Winfield hits this one high. That'll get out of play over the home grandstand. So Fireved gets ahead of Winfield here. The count is 1-2, and that's something, Joe, we've seen him do a couple of times today, is get ahead of these Cotuit hitters.
Yeah, it sets up the count perfectly for him, trying to get ahead of these batters. It's something that he did against Winfield his last time up, where he struck out looking. Winfield looking for some payback here.
The 1-2 on the way. Got him swinging again. The second time today, Easton Winfield has struck out against Ethan Fireved, as there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
Just a beautiful breaking ball low and outside to the left-handed swinging Winfield, so able to break away from him. Only thing Winfield can do is wave at it, try to get a piece of it and extend his AB, but unable to make contact, and he falls back to 0 for 2.
So now that brings up Timo Becerra, who's 0 for 1 today. Running on the pitch is Cerny. The throw down from Sam is in plenty of time. Sam knew it as he guns down Tyler Cerny. So it's the first time Cerny's been caught on the base paths this year. So Charlie Sam doing it all for YD. Reached on a walk, was stranded at third, and guns down Tyler Cerny for the third and final out of the inning here in the bottom of the third. So YD in full control through 3 here at Lowell Park. They still lead 5-2 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Top of the fourth from Lowell Park, as the Red Sox still lead the Kettleers 5-2. Leading things off is the leadoff man, RJ Austin, who's up for the third time today. Austin 0 for 2, one of just a few hitters in this YD Red Sox lineup that is yet to reach base. Actually, the only hitter in this YD Red Sox lineup that is yet to reach base. Skylar King also 0 for 2, but did reach on the fielding error by Tyler Cerny. And Mike Roberts making a couple of defensive substitutions. Luke Hansen comes into the game. He's playing third base as Timo Becerra moves from third to short. So Hansen comes into the game for Cerny as Hawanitz deals against Austin for the first time today and tosses the opening pitch high. Hawanitz kicks and deals. The next pitch also misses the zone here, so Hawanitz falling behind the dangerous RJ Austin, who went 2 for 3 with a home run. The last time these two teams played, swing away at the 2-0 pitch. The high pop-up that gets out of play down the right field line.
Yeah, RJ Austin was the first batter that Dylan Hawanitz had to face in his young Cape League career so far. Of course, this being his third appearance, but entering into that ball game, really difficult situation for him, just as it was today.
The 2-1, the Vanderbilt product lays off. He had an excellent season this past year at Vanderbilt, played in 60 games, hit .335 with 5 home runs, 54 RBIs. Also had 28 stolen bases as he crushes this one foul down the third base line. Hopped all over that 3-1 pitch from Dylan Hawanitz.
Yeah, he worked the count full last time these two guys faced, and Austin was able to win the battle. He worked the walk.
So Hawanitz kicks and deals, Got him swinging. Filthy pitch there by Dylan Hawanitz as R.J. Austin expands the zone as it's the first strikeout for Hawanitz, as R.J. Austin is the first out here in this top of the fourth.
Just a great pitch from Dylan Hawanitz. Keeps it at the bottom of the zone. That ball was right at the knees and stayed there the entire time to R.J. Austin. Nothing he can do but fan at it and miss. And Hawanitz gets his revenge on him.
A swing away at the first offering from Hawanitz was Michael Ball, but it's a long foul ball deep down the left field line. And not the first time today Michael Ball has squared up a pitch. Blasted his first home run all the way back in the first inning.
Yeah,
gave YD a 1-0 lead.
He got one at the bottom of the zone, and it was pretty much the same pitch. Just got to find a way to stay back.
The 0-1. Taking high and on the outside corner for strike two. So Hawanitz gets ahead of Ball here, who after the home run flew out to Nathan Hall in deep right center field. Hawanitz deals the 0-2 pitch. This one hit on the ground to Hansen, who goes into the slide, pops up his throw, nearly pulls Thatch off the bag, but what a play by the all-star Tanner Thatch to keep his foot on the bag to retire Michael Ball for the second out.
Hansen and Thatch combining for a great play made, and Luke Hansen getting tested immediately. It's funny how the game of baseball works, right? We've said that a few times this year. Hansen entering into this ball game as a defensive substitution for Tyler Cerny, or at least will hit in his spot for Tyler Cerny, and Becerra moving to short, but just a great play by him as he has to go down into the slide to get it. Throws slightly up the line, but Tanner Thatch using all of that 6'4" frame to pull it down.
How many times have we said that this year? Tanner Thatch using all of his 6'4" frame to pull down a ball or save a fielding miscue, and does so once again. So now it's the first baseman for YD, Anthony Martinez, grounds a pitch right back up the middle. That'll get through into center field. So another 2-out base hit for the Red Sox as Anthony Martinez reaches. He's now 1 for 2 today.
Yeah, some flashbacks there for Dylan Hawanitz. His first time against this YD team. His last batter faced took him out of the game by scorching one off of his left ankle. It was 99 miles an hour off the bat. That one nearly grazing his left leg, but goes straight back up the middle, and more 2-out hitting for YD extends this fourth.
The first offering to the designated hitter, Ethan Petrie, misses the zone. Petrie 1 for 2. Hit his 7th double of the season back in the first inning and struck out swinging in the third. Hawanitz steals the 1-0 pitch. Big cut on and miss by Petrie. That evens the count at 1-1. Petrie, known for the home run ball, has hit 7 through 20 games so far this season as he takes another big cut on the 79-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch by Hawanitz that had a lot of movement, and it fools Petrie.
Anytime you can bring a guy into the game who's thrown at a much different arm angle from the previous guy, it's super effective and clearly working to its advantage here.
Hawanitz deals the 1-2 pitch. Petrie goes the other way, and that'll dunk down into right field. So another 2-out base hit is back-to-back singles for YD as Martinez motors up to second, and Petrie reaches for his second base knock today.
Well, we saw him tuck one down the line his last time up. Cotuit also playing with a bit of a shift, also with that runner on first, thinking he might steal a base, but for Petrie, gets that one at the bottom of his barrel off the end of the bat and just twists it through the right side. Another showcasing of great hitting by Ethan Petrie, and he improves to 2 for 3.
Petrie now 6 for 10 against Cotuit so far this year in 3 games. As Hawanitz's first pitch to Phoenix call at the top of the strike zone. Count is 0-1 against the right fielder for the Red Sox. He's 2 for 2 today, also with an RBI. Hawanitz, the next offering, misses well outside. Call so far with the 2-hit performance has his batting average all the way up to 273. Entered today hitting 256, today being his 30th game played. As he hits a towering pop-up, Jaron Advincula goes out in the short right field, makes the grab for the third and final out of the inning. So Dylan Hawanitz retires R.J. Austin and Michael Ball, but ran into trouble facing the dangerous duo of Anthony Martinez and Ethan Petrie, allowed back-to-back singles, but gets the pop-up of Phoenix call as we head to the bottom half of the inning, with YD leading Cotuit 5-2 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Cape Cod.
Ethan Fireved's day is done. He goes 3 innings against Cotuit, allows 2 runs on just 4 hits. Walked a batter and struck out 4 while throwing 61 pitches, 37 strikes. Sorry, Joe. Speaking sometimes really struggle with. It's a struggle to speak sometimes.
Sometimes it is, yeah.
But now Ryan Sprock is the first man out of the bullpen for YD. Sprock, a 2-way player for the Red Sox, but making his 5th appearance so far this summer. Has a 2-0 record, a 5.4 ERA. Through his first 4 appearances, gone 8 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned. Has walked 5 hitters and also struck out 13. Starts out Timo Becerra with a first pitch ball. Becerra had his at-bat cut short after Tyler Cerny was cut down, attempting to steal second after a beautiful throw by Charlie Somm. It's the 1-0 from Sprock. Becerra thought about going around. The appeal down at first, he did not go. After the 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Sprock. Sprock this past year at Elon made 15 appearances, 11 starts, had a 2-5 record as his 2-0 offering misses for ball 3. Had a 10.12 ERA in 42 2/3 innings pitched. Allowed 68 hits as hitters hit 356 against the righty. As Timo Becerra works a 4-pitch walk to lead off the bottom of the 4th.
And that's really been the issue for Ryan Sprock so far this season. Pitching-wise also was an issue for him. Last season at Elon, walked 21 guys in 42 innings, 33 strikeouts, but also this season allowed 5 hits, as you mentioned, but 2 of those leaving the ballpark, a couple home runs allowed from him, and those walks really a big reason as to why that ERA is up to 5.4.
So now it's Devin Taylor who looks at a first pitch strike. Taylor's today 0 for 1. Grounded out to Michael Ball at second. In the bottom of the second, as Becerra leads off first, Sprock comes home with the 0-1 pitch as the 93-mile-an-hour fastball runs too far, low and inside against the lefty Taylor. Taylor crushed his 4th home run of the season last night, today being his 19th game. As the 1-1 pitch, that clips the zone to the dismay of Taylor as he's down to the count 1-2. Taylor hit 20 home runs this past year at Indiana, where he played in 59 games for the Hoosiers. Turns on the 1-2 offering down the first base line. We've really seen the power become a big factor in Devin Taylor's game after returning from the USA national team. As Becerra once again leads off. First, the 1-2 pitch, got him swinging. Sprock pulls the strings on Devin Taylor, as he's the first out here in the bottom of the fourth as he falls back to 0 for 2.
Well located pitch there by Ryan Sprock, trying to get Devin Taylor for the second time today, and he did. Big opportunity there, responding after walking the leadoff man in this inning, and now Grant Jay, who reached base by a hit by pitch, is looking to swing away here his next time up.
The first offering to the Cotuit catcher, a rocket right at Will Tippett at short. Who makes the play, returning back to the bag is Timo Becerra. That's a frustrating out for Grant Jay, hitting it on a rope just right to Tippett at short.
Yeah, boy, did he connect with that baseball and launched towards shortstop there, and Will Tippett in perfect position to field it. But for Grant Jay, clearly squaring that baseball up. Can tell he's been getting closer and closer in these past few ABs to getting back into the swing of things at the plate, but that time just an unfortunate result to that hard hit ball.
So now that brings up the second baseman, Jaron Advincula, who swings at the first pitch, hits this one into left field, but that gets foul. Advincula 1 for 1 today. Singled in the second, raised his batting average to .415 this summer. That's his 5th hit against YD. 5 for 9 this summer against the Red Sox pitching staff. Becerra once again takes his lead off first. Brock takes a look back at him, now deals the 0-1 as Advincula has to duck out of the way.
Yeah, you brought up last night that his numbers against Chatham maybe weren't as good as against other teams, but able to get a base knock against each team in this league, but responding last night with a good day at the plate. Went 1 for 3, scored a run, a bunt single, and a walk.
Advincula 2 for 13 against Chatham as he hits a towering pop-up. That just goes out of play over the fence, just to our right. So Advincula falls behind in the count 1-2. Ryan Sprock looking to go 1, 2, 3 through the 7, 8, 9 hitters in the Kettleer lineup after surrendering the leadoff walk to Timo Becerra. Sprock peers in, now comes set, glove at the belt, kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch. Advincula chops this on the ground to Tippett at short, who fields cleanly. His throw just in time to nab Advincula for the third and final out of the inning. So Ryan Sprock comes out of the bullpen, gives up the free pass to Timo Becerra, and then fans Devin Taylor, gets the hard line out of Grant Jay and the 6-3 ground out of Jaron Advincula. As it's been all YD through 4 here at Lowell Park, they still lead 5-2, and now we'll bring on Jimmy Middleton.
A familiar face is in the Cotuit dugout as Danny Crossan is back with the Kets to finish out the season with the Kets. Last year, he was on the 2023 coaching staff where they finished with a 28-15 record, which is good enough for first in the West. He was also played 5 years at Northeastern where he was the program record holder for most hits in a season with 84. After talking with Danny earlier today, he said it's refreshing. It's good to be back around good baseball, and it's good to be home because he is a Cotuit resident. That's all I got for you boys today. Hope the rest of the broadcast goes good. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. Excellent work today. It's always great to bring on another member of our Cotuit media team. And always great to hear more about the Kettleers coaching staff, Joe.
Yeah, bringing back Danny Crossan for another summer. Was on this coaching staff a season ago, and with assistant coach Cody Colden, who was able to complete a win earlier this season at Doran Park. he was offered a new position at Dallas Baptist University working with their baseball department and recruiting, so a good opportunity for Cody Colden, and that opens up another opportunity for Danny Crossan to make his return. So it's great to see Danny back around the ballpark. I know was loved by everybody on the team a year ago, and surely everybody will do the same again this season, but it should be great to see this coaching staff continue to develop, because it's a lot of guys who are on the younger side. Some guys like Trey Holland, Rob Hughes, Peyton Kesselring, these are guys who, and also Danny Crossan, had an opportunity to coach with Roberts, play for Mike Roberts, and of course to have a guy and more guys surrounding you and Mike Roberts being, or just kind of knowing the ropes a little bit of Mike Roberts baseball is incredibly important. They clearly are aligned with that, and also Elliott Wolf and Will Thompson contributing to this coaching staff this summer as well. So this is a great coaching staff surrounding this ball club, and I think you really see that the way that those guys act, the way that they don't take themselves too seriously but are still serious around the game of baseball when the time is coming. It's great to see, and I think that's a reflection about the way these guys play in practice.
So Dylan Howanitz goes an inning and a third. So his day is done after throwing 30 pitches, allowed 2 hits, no runs. Did strike out a batter, also walked one. And now it's Andrew Benke coming in relief for his 3rd appearance so far this summer with the Kettleers. Benke is yet to record a decision, but has a 12 ERA in 3 innings, allowing 5 hits, 4 runs all earned, 2 home runs. Those home run and the long ball has really come back to bite. Benke has walked a batter and struck out 5. So we'll see what the new arm for Cotuit can do, squaring off against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters of the YD lineup.
Yeah, Benke looking to make it a get-right performance for him, just as Dylan Howanitz did in his 3rd appearance this summer. Going an inning and a third, allowed 2 hits, but stranded all 4 base runners that he allowed on base.
Benke starts out the first batter. He faces Talmadge LaCroix with a first pitch strike. LaCroix 1 for 1 today, singled and walked, also came around to score just an inning ago. Or 2 innings ago, excuse me, as LaCroix hits this one down the right field line. Giving it a look is Winfield as he loses his hat in the process, but that ball reaches the trees. Benke, the lefty working against the righty LaCroix, pounds him on the inside corner. That's laid off for ball 1. So the 1-2 from the lefty, Benke. Kicks and deals. LaCroix, the appeal down to first. He went. That ball kicked off the glove of Jay. He goes all the way back to the backstop. His long throw. In time, they got him. Confusion on the play as the appeal went down to first. Talmadge LaCroix didn't get a running start, but Grant Shea retrieved that ball and fired a missile down to Tanner Thatch at first. So LaCroix down on strikes to begin the top of the 5th.
Yeah, we've talked so much about this big backstop at Lowell Park. That time it gets away from Grant Shea. There was slight hesitation because the home plate umpire didn't know if he should check at first or not. He does decide to, and so then Grant Shea has to scamper back behind the mound to get it. Talmadge LaCroix was trying to hustle up that first base line, but a great throw by Grant Shea, and they had to work hard to pick up that first strikeout for Andrew Benke today, and already off to a good start against Charlie Somm.
Benke, long look in, now deals the 0-1 pitch to the catcher, Somm. Taken to the opposite batter's box for ball 1. Somm 0 for 1. Grounded out to Tyler Cerny at shortstop. Back in the 2nd inning and had an RBI hit by pitch in the 3rd. The 1-1 from Benke. Released once again outside. Benke this past season at Tennessee made 23 appearances, had a 3-1 record, a 3.54 ERA in 28 innings, 39 strikes, and allowed just 9 free passes. As the 2-1 pitch to Somm crushed in the left center field gap that splits the outfielders, kicks off the base of the wall. Compton fields it. Somm motors his way up to second as he tallies his first hit today, as it's a 1-out double.
That ball crushed off the bat of Charlie Somm, who reaches scoring position for the second time today. First it was an RBI hit by pitch back in the third, and getting all of that one to deep left center field. And we've seen Andrew Benke give up a couple of hard hit balls through his first few appearances this season, and more of the same right there. This time the ballpark holds it, and with a runner in scoring position, one gone, Skylar King will have an opportunity to drive in his first run of the summer.
Benke before that at bat, Somm, before that at bat was 4 for 37. Picks up hit number 5 in his first double this season. As YD brings on a pinch hitter, it's Cameron King. Pinch hitting for Skylar King. Checks his swing, but it's a called strike number 1 to the pinch hitter out of UCLA. Kim, this is his 28th game this summer, hitting just 145, 9 for 62. Does have 5 RBIs. As the 0-1 from the lefty Benke waved through and missed. So Kim coming off the bench and quickly behind in the count 0-2. Kim coming off of his freshman season at UCLA where he played in 14 games. Had just 23 at-bats but hit 174. As Benke leaves the off-speed pitch above the letters for ball 1. Kim talked about his decision to go to UCLA. He said it was the opportunity to get a degree from this university along with playing with this coaching staff as he nearly takes out his teammate, Will Tippett, in the on-deck circle, a foul ball that Tippett has to dance out of the way of.
Yeah, look out.
Some elusive moves by the shortstop for YD. But the count remains at 1-2. Benke peers in, kicks and deals. Got him swinging. Cameron Kim comes off the bench and is the second strikeout victim by Andrew Benke today, as there's 2 outs here in the 5th, with Charlie Somm still remaining on second.
Yeah, well, we just saw Skylar King get pinch hit for Cameron Kim, and more of the same from the last time we saw these two teams played. It was actually Cameron Kim who got the start at second base. Scott Pickler and Mike Roberts are both old-fashioned style managers where if they don't like what they see through the first 3 or 4 innings from some of their guys in the field at the plate, they'll pull them from the ball game. And Cameron Kim is a perfect example of that right there. Or excuse me, Skylar King, I guess is, but Kim being the pinch hitter there.
King was 0 for 2. Did reach base after the fielding miscue by Tyler Cerny. Also struck out swinging. Now it's Will Tippett, who's 1 for 2 today. Saw him with a big lead off second, not being held on as Benke throws a strike that swung on and missed by Tippett, evening the count at 1-1. Tippett, another one of those guys that came in as a pinch hitter, went 1 for 3 earlier this season against the Kettleers. As he goes the other way, that ball goes foul down the first base line. So Andrew Benke just 1 strike away from stranding Charlie Somm on second after his 1-out double. Benke 16 pitches, 11 strikes. Has punched out Talmadge LaCroix and Cameron Kim. Peers in, kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball on the inside corner, laid off for ball 2. Jaron Advincula thought it was strike 3, raised his hands there. But the count is evened up at 2-2. Benke pounding the inside corner after throwing 2 pitches on the outside half. The 2-2 pitch got him looking. Andrew Benke comes out of the bullpen, gets a strikeout of Talmadge LaCroix, allows the 1-out double to Charlie Somm, but gets back-to-back strikeouts against Cameron Kim and Will Tippett. So another bounce-back outing for Andrew Benke. But YD still leads Cotuit 5-2 on the Kettleers Digital Network. And when we come back from this commercial break, my broadcast partner Joe Pratt will take over on the play-by-play duties. So stay tuned for more here from Lowell Park.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
Escape the summer.
Back from Lowell Park in Game 30 of the 2024 campaign, and Alex, it's just crazy to think that after today we'll be 3/4 of the way through this season, and for Cotuit, off to a great start, 19-9-1. So we move into this bottom of the 5th frame. Cotuit trailing, it's 5-2, so gonna rely on a comeback effort, looking to notch that 20th victory of the season, and Tanner Thatch trying to blast his 9th home run of the summer on that first pitch from Ryan Sprock, who's back out there for a second inning of work, and now Thatch gets a piece of the next 80-mile-an-hour pitch, and he's back to 0-2. So Sprock entering into that ball game in the 4th inning, walked the first batter he faced. It was 3 up, 3 down after that, pitching from 6 through 9 in the order, and he will face Tanner Thatch, Nathan Hall, Brandon Compton to start off this 5th. So a slight pause before this 0-2 pitch. But Ryan Sprock making another appearance on the mound this season for the YD Red Sox. Hits .235 at the plate. 17 at-bats, 4 hits, 3 RBIs, and that's to go along with 4 pitching appearances where he's thrown over 8 innings, make that 9 now. And up to 14 Ks across those 9 frames as Tanner Thatch takes low and outside. Charlie Somm thought that was a called strike 3, but Thatch working this count to 2-2. Saw the home plate umpire there take a look over at Scott Pickler, wondering where that one missed, but the at-bat continues, and the entire infield for YD shifted to the pull side. Thatch goes after a 2-2 breaking ball, and fans threw it for strike 3. So the first out of this 5th frame, and Ryan Sprock will face Nathan Hall for the first time.
YD's been attacking Thatch well low and outside. This time they go to the curveball on the inside part of the plate, but Thatch is well off balance there as he waves through the off-speed pitch for his first strikeout so far today.
So Thatch is 1 for 2, continuing on that on-base streak. And this hitting stretch where he has been able to knock base hits in 10 of his last 11 games played now. Become the everyday man at first, and Nathan Hall, who seemingly was the everyday man in the Kettleers outfield as the count goes to 1-1. This month of July has really seen his playing time decrease, but his productivity has pretty much maintained the same. 370 hitter, 20 hits so far. Not too many guys on this roster with 20 base knocks as he goes back to 1-2. But we were talking about it earlier, what it says about him to still be productive even despite not being in the lineup every day. It's something that he kind of had to grow accustomed to at Clemson. 12 games played for the Tigers this past season. Wasn't able to go to the deep into the College World Series or the college baseball playoffs this season with Clemson, and that must have been really tough for him. Of course, playing on the Vineyard last summer, 30 games with the Sharks where he hit .282, and now on the Cape League this season. He checks his swing and did not go, says Joseph Caraco. And it's a 3-2 count to Nathan Hall. Hall, a difficult day at the plate so far in the 1st and 2nd inning. Strikeout swinging. The payoff pitch from Sprock. Hall dips underneath it. It's a pop-up on the infield. And the pitcher, Sprock, says he has it. He pulls it down, and there's 2 gone. Even going for the fair catch there.
Hall got well underneath that as Sprock making the fair catch, calling off the rest of his infield, and making the catch for the second out. And Sprock coming out of the bullpen after surrendering that leadoff walk to Timo Becerra. 5 up, 5 down.
Yeah, just been incredibly effective. A guy who's been a two-way player across his last 2 years at Elon. And a good example of a guy who is able to do both pretty well. This season falling back, though, with 48 earned runs across 42 innings. But again, it was that high walk total that truncated his ERA as the 1-0 pitch, or inflated his ERA, I guess, but it was still able to bat above a 300 clip in his last 2 seasons as a batter. So 333 as a freshman, 353 games this season. Good enough to earn him All-CAA honorable mention. Was also a part of the All-CAA rookie team in 2023. But he gets a first pitch strike, or a first strike on Brandon Compton to push him to 2-1. Compton has reached in both plate appearances so far. He's 1 for 1, a single in the third, walk in the first. Scored the first run of the ball game for Cotuit. Now he dips underneath this one once more, and off the end of the bat it twists over the home grandstand out of play. But Brandon Compton continuing his strong play into last night. 1 for 4 at the plate with a solo, or excuse me, a 3-run homer. Also scored a run by way of the walk. And continues his at-bat here at 2-2. That one 94 on the gun from Sprock, excuse me.
We talked about it earlier in the last at-bat with Nathan Hall. Not too many players with 20 hits for Cotuit this season. Just 5, and 3, of course, at the top of this lineup: Tanner Thatch, Nathan Hall, and Brandon Compton.
Yeah, Compton with one of them. He has 28, and that's number 29 right there. Dips it down the left field line. He's thinking about 2. Will hold up after 1. And it's a 2-out single for Brandon Compton in the bottom of the 5th.
Brandon Compton continues to rake, but especially against the YD Red Sox. He's now 7 for 14 with a home run, 3 RBIs, and Compton not trying to do too much in that at-bat there, going the opposite way against Sprock and dunking it down into left field. And those are the at-bats that the Kettleers are going to need to string together, battle back in counts, and just take one the other way and just find any way to get on base.
Yeah, it's a good point that you bring up. Able to work his way back into that count 2-2, foul off a couple of pitches until he got the one that he liked, or was at least able to put into the field to play for a hit. Does so perfectly, and with the runner on first, Luke Hansen swings through that first pitch from Sprock. So it's the first at-bat of the day for Luke Hansen after Tyler Cerny goes 1 for 2 with an RBI double back in the first inning, a fielder's choice that he reached on in the third, but of course ended that third inning by being caught stealing. So now down in the count goes Luke Hansen to 0-2. A guy who has been used as a defensive substitution a couple of times this season, but as a starter has been able to reach in each of those ball games. 0-2 is up and away. His most recent appearance Friday night against Wareham was a defensive sub for Nolan Araki at third base, and Hansen wound up going 0 for 1 at the plate. So looking for his first base knock since July 14th against Bourne. Broken bat, a little nubbler in front of the mound. Sprock over to get it, and he will throw out Luke Hansen for the 3rd out of this bottom of the 5th frame. So the Kettleers with 1 hit in the inning, no errors made by the YD Red Sox, and they will strand 1 on base as we send it to the top of the 6th frame. You're listening to Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call
Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape.
So we welcome you back in for the top of the 6th frame. Andrew Benke is back out there, and we will revisit Kettleers Trivia today, brought to you by Cotuit Library. Go ahead and reread you that question. 14 seasons with the California Angels and Anaheim Angels after playing in 1988 for the Cotuit Kettleers. Played a pivotal role in helping the Angels to their first ever World Series title in 2002. Nickname was Kingfish, also was nicknamed Mr. Angel. And before we give a shout out, we actually did have somebody in the chat answer the question right. So nice job by Ann Schulke, committed Kettleers fan, and of course the mother of Cam Schulke, who was recently drafted by the Cleveland Guardians last week. She answered correctly, and the answer was Tim Salmon. Tim Salmon, of course, playing here in 1988, was drafted a couple of times before the Angels found him in the 3rd round of the 1989 draft, and then playing his entire 14-season career with the Angels. And only fitting that they were able to get another generational player just a couple of years later in Mike Trout.
Seen a lot of generational players roll through Anaheim and California.
Pop up off the bat of Austin, and his at-bat will continue at 2-2.
It's awesome that we finally had someone guess a trivia question.
Yes.
We've been waiting for it, and it took till game 30, but we finally have a guess.
And it was right, too. That's the best part.
Makes it even better.
Yeah. You know, we didn't think of what would be a great prize if somebody was able to get it right. Austin fights that off. Hansen, it's just out of his reach. But I think we need to think of something. I mean, I was thinking a discount at the Kettleers store maybe. We'll have to run that by Leah Ridpath, but must be some sort of incentive for this.
There has to be.
Not just a shout out on the broadcast.
I like the discount at the store idea. I really do. If you have the dedication to watch the stream, say the right answer, that deserves a discount.
And even if people, you know, aren't here, aren't around Cotuit, you can't attend the store physically, maybe some sort of discount code online. I'm not tech savvy enough for that. Not even close.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
It's way over my head there.
Well, R.J. Austin is working a long at-bat. It hasn't been too many pitches, though. Just 4 from Andrew Benke to start off this inning, but it appeared that the baseball down the left field line had to be removed. And the 2-2 pitch is rolled on the ground towards Advincula, who's up with it, and he brings home out number 1 of this top of the 6th frame. So they start off this inning against the leadoff man, R.J. Austin, likely one of the toughest outs in this YD order, but he goes back to 0 for 4 there.
And he is one of the toughest outs in this YD order, but Cotuit is really haven't struggled against R.J. Austin. He's 0 for 4 today. He's grounded out a couple of times at a lazy fly ball to Easton Winfield in right field. Struck out. It's just been the rest of the lineup that the Kettleer pitching staff has struggled against.
Yeah, one of them being Michael Ball, who opened up the scoring in this ball game, a solo shot. Back in the top of the 1st inning, the second batter that Tyler O'Neill would face after going 2 2/3 innings was replaced, and that one rolled foul, and it's 1-1 to Ball. But Ball, a guy who's coming off of an incredibly productive campaign at Nevada this past season. .560 slugging percentage to go along with that .310 clip, but 22 doubles led the Mountain West Conference. 1-1 pitch from Benke. Popped up, towards Advincula again. He gets tested for the second time in this inning, and he will pull down the second out. So 0 for 3 is Michael Ball after that initial home run in the first inning, and here's Anthony Martinez.
It's been really nice to see Andrew Banke come out and rebound after struggling his last outing. Of course, gave up the one-out double to Charlie Samba. Other than that, struck out all 3 batters he faced last inning in the 5th and has gotten 2 weak outs here in the 6th.
And starts off Anthony Martinez with a strike. But you just brought it up. This is the part of the order that has really been in the thorn of the side of Cotuit pitching so far today. Each of the guys from 3 through 6 in this lineup for YD have been able to reach base twice. Martinez, one of them, a single. Ground out in the first, also walked in the third. And a 1-1 count to him. Infield and outfield straight up. And he flips this one high towards foul territory. Hansen giving chase in front of the Cotuit dugout. He has out number 3. So a nice job there by Luke Hansen to track that ball deep into foul territory. And it's a 3 up, 3 down top of the 6th inning worked by Andrew Banke. Cotuit still trails though 5-2 as we send it to the home half of the 6th here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
The O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Easton Winfield will lead it off against Ryan Sprock, who continues to eat some innings for Scott Pickler's Red Sox. Working into his 3rd inning of work. And Winfield takes up and away for ball 1. So Ryan Sprock coming into this ball game, we knew that he was a two-way man who can do it on both sides at Elon. 15 appearances this past season as a pitcher, 53 games as a batter, 180 ABs, 42 2/3 innings, and really not too many guys in college baseball altogether who really put in just about as much time at the plate as they do on the mound, but Sprock is one of them. Just as he has here this summer for the Red Sox, as that one misses low and away, and Easton Winfield, who is 0 for 2 today with a pair of strikeouts, evens up the count. Goes after that breaking ball at 79 miles an hour, and it's 1-2. So Winfield falling behind in the count once more. Something that he did the last 2 times up. That one evens the count up at 2-2. Scoreboard saying 1-2 at Lowell Park. And the 2-2 offering. He gets a piece to stay alive. Nice job there just to barely get a piece of it. Something that we saw the last time that he was up when he struck out swinging. It was a breaking ball low and outside that he tried to get contact on an emergency swing, but wasn't able to. Shortstop playing nearly directly behind the second base bag, and the next pitch misses upstairs. 3-2 the count to Winfield.
We've seen Winfield work deep in accounts, although he's 0 for 2 today with a pair of strikeouts. We've seen him work deep in accounts, foul off a lot of tough pitches, and those are the type of at-bats that you want to have. It makes your pitchers work more out on the mound, and maybe the Cotuit dugout sees something different.
Swinging bunt, foul territory.
But you never know the amount of times that you see a pitcher throw, maybe begins to tip his pitches, or a player notices something after Devin Taylor struck out in the 4th inning. You mentioned something to Grant Jay about Ryan Sprock there, and of course Jay hit the hard line drive to Will Tippett at shortstop. So it's just always seeing things and noticing things.
Winfield lifts it to second, and Michael Ball is right there to make the first out. But that's a good point that you bring up, because Easton Winfield was able to watch 8 hitters bat against Ryan Sprock before that AB and was able to work the count, connect with a pitch, but it winds up being the first out of the 6th. But always great to see these guys giving words of encouragement, giving some adjustment or adjustments to the next batter in the lineup, as you were just talking about, from Taylor to Grant Jay, something that we saw in last night's game as well before Brandon Compton's at bat. And then Compton went on later in that ball game to hit a 3-run homer. So now it's Timo Becerra. He's reached once today, led off the 4th with a walk, and now takes downstairs. It's 1-1 to him. He's 0 for 1 today. Gets his fourth game start at third base this season, but switching after that 4th inning, replacing Tyler Cerny at short. Becerra rolls it foul right into the bare hands of Mike Roberts, who makes a nice play. Got soft hands over there. I think the first base coach, Will Thompson, could learn a thing or two.
Seen a lot of times Will Thompson this year going for the bare hand plays, but not a lot of results from Will Thompson. He's got to get a couple of ground ball practice.
Yeah, he does. Becerra goes after that pitch down in the zone, swings right over it. And it's the second out of this 6th inning. 3rd strikeout of the day for Ryan Sprock, who has cruised through this Cotuit lineup and starting his 2nd rotation here in the 6th.
Sprock icing up the Kettleers so far today has allowed just 2 base runners, the walk to Timo Becerra and the single by Brandon Compton, and this is exactly what YD envisioned. You go from Ethan Fireved to Ryan Sprock, who continues to eat up innings.
Misses with the first pitch to Taylor. We'll see if Taylor made some adjustments after the first time he faced Sprock and struck out back in the 4th inning. Taylor goes after a high fastball at 90 miles an hour, and it's 1-1. But Devin Taylor, going into this ball game, was 0 for 4 on Friday night against Wareham to snap a 6-game hitting streak, but now has hits in 7 of his last 8. After knocking that 3-run homer in the 3rd inning in last night's game, that was the only RBIs for the Kettleers with 2 outs in the inning. So a lot of that offense coming to start off these frames as he takes low and away, and it's a 3-1 count to Taylor. So you see the other offenses against the Kettleers perform incredibly well with 2 outs in the inning. Cotuit trying to improve upon that in the past couple games, as Taylor will take strike 2. But of course, you got to always start off those frames, try to get as many base runners on as you can. Something that they've done pretty well so far tonight, but also great defense, great pitching from YD across Ethan Fireved and Ryan Sprock, as Devin Taylor goes down on strikes for the 2nd straight AB, winds up being the 4th strikeout, 4th swinging, thrown by Ryan Sprock, as we have played 6 here from Lowell Park. Kettleers still trailing 5-2 as we send it to the top of the 7th inning. And we will check in for the first time with our new sideline reporter, Shane Patagna. What do you got for us, Shane?
Yesterday, the Cape League announced the rosters for the 33rd annual Cape League All-Star Game taking place this Saturday at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. The Kettleers will have 4 representatives, being Tanner Thatch and Jaron Advincula being the starters at first and second base respectively, and Brandon Compton and Mikey Ebner serving as reserves. For Thatch, he deserves this honor. He's one of 3 hitters with an OPS north of 1,000 in the league this season, and is currently tied for 2nd in the league lead with 8 home runs. Advincula is Cotuit's king of contact, the only hitter batting over 400, and was tied for first with 38 hits in the league, along with Murph Gray of Wareham. Compton's had a good season in his own right, serving as one of only two Cotuit hitters, qualified hitters, that were batting over 300 entering today's game, and is tied for second on the team along with Devin Taylor with 4 home runs. Last but not least, Ebner has been the best relief option for the Cotuit's bullpen, leading the league with an .037 batting average against and .0.44 whip. And among all the other festivities going on at Gov Fuller Field Saturday, the Cape League should be announcing the 6 participants in the home run hitting contest. I asked Tanner Thatch yesterday if he wanted any part of it, and he wasn't too committed, but we do know that Cotuit has other options. We know the pop that Compton, Taylor, and Grant J have as well. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Shane. Some great information on the Kettleers recently named to the All-Star game that'll be taking place on July 27th in Falmouth. But I think Shane echoed some of the thoughts that we have had in the past couple days. Is Tanner Thatch participating in that home run derby?
It would be so awesome to see if Tanner Thatch does participate in the home run derby, but of course, maybe some caution there on the side of Tanner Thatch. Is in the MLB home run derby, you see a lot of guys just mess up their swings because they're trying to hit as many home runs as possible, and it's always a risk going in the home run derby and running the risk to see if you mess up your swing. But at least for our sake and for the fans' sake, it'd be awesome to see if Tanner Thatch is in the home run derby.
Absolutely, as he just recently moved into the second spot in home runs in the CCBL alone. He was tied with Wahiva Aloy of the YD Red Sox, also with 8 homers. But Wahiva Aloy being released by the Red Sox just yesterday, as they, like the Kettleers, are undergoing a lot of roster turnover right now. But this past week it was mainly the position players for YD, and according to Luke West-Pauley, their broadcast team, as well as Ben Strober, they were just talking to us before the game saying how the pitching staff is going to undergo a lot of turnover seemingly in the next week or so, with guys leaving due to pitching limits, making transfers, making visits to other schools and things like that. So it's something that a lot of these teams have to deal with, especially in the month of July. Petrie pops that one up into foul territory. Thatch giving chase in the camera well along the YD dugout, and he has out number 1.
Nice grab by Tanner Thatch, and that's just a veteran play. Of course, Thatch playing in his second year at Lowell Park, knows right where the fence is, right where the net is, and goes over it, makes the grab, and it's a tough catch for the first baseman.
A big reason as to why he's a starting first baseman at the All-Star game on July 27th. Seen him make a couple of phenomenal plays tonight at first base. One being a deep throw back in the 4th inning from Luke Hansen that was up the line, was able to pull that down, and it brings so much more importance to that second out of the 4th inning, knowing that the next 2 guys in the lineup, Anthony Martinez, Ethan Petrie, were able to get on base with 2 singles. So to keep YD where they're at 5-2 is incredibly important, but Cotuit needing to get those bats going. The 1-0 pitch to Phoenix Call is called to strike 1. So Phoenix Call today, 2 hits in the first and in the 3rd innings, an RBI single, then scored a run in the 3rd. Also popped out on the infield in the 4th, so he's 2 for 3. And Benke throws, and it's spoiled foul down the right field line. Benke working into his 3rd full inning of work. Looks like there is one arm potentially warming up in the bullpen for the Kettleers. Of course, we were talking about it earlier today. A lot of the guys in the bullpen should be available, with just 2 relief arms going last night, as that one's turned around into center field, and Phoenix Call has his 3rd hit of the ball game.
Phoenix Call not trying to do too much, just lining a pitch right back into center field, and he's had a great day at the dish so far. Improves to 3 for 4, and a guy who was 4 for 10 against the Kettleers coming into today, and anytime you can hit 500 against the team, just really impressive stuff from the right fielder.
They'll check on call at first. New batter is Talmadge LaCroix. Struck out swinging on a deep drop 3rd strike his last time up in the 5th inning. Grant J had to go all the way to the backstop to get it and complete the first strikeout of the day for Andrew Benke. LaCroix was the first batter that he faced, and he is 1 for 2. A walk in the 3rd, scored a run, a single in the 1st, but
wasn't really able to spend too much time on the base paths as he hit his teammate Phoenix Call with that line drive. So that ended the first frame. First pitch to him. Hits off the knob of his bat. That'll be a foul ball.
Joe, if you want to go back even further about the Kettleers bullpen and their usage of it, just one reliever used 2 games ago against Wareham, Michael Ebner, in that game, eating up 4 innings. So just 3 relievers used over the last 2 games, and definitely an asset for Mike Roberts.
Yeah, pretty good for Roberts to have all those arms at his disposal, and LaCroix will send that one into center field. Back-to-back singles for the Red Sox. So it seems like they have pieced together some sort of game plan that's working against Andrew Benke. Have the Red Sox in this 7th frame. Back-to-back hits, 2 on with 1 gone, and that brings Mike Roberts out of the third base dugout. So we'll see if they go to the bullpen here. And it looks like they will. So the 5th arm will be used by the Kettleers in this game. In the midst of the 7th inning, there's 1 gone. Runners are on 1st and 2nd. The day is done for Andrew Benke, who goes 2 1/3 innings. Following up Dylan Hawanitz, Jack O'Malley, and Tyler O'Neill. So a new arm coming into the game for the Kettleers. We'll let you know who it is when we return here on the Kettleers Digital Network. Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net. Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130.
Cape Cod since 1988. Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts.
Well, today at Lowell Park is Bark at the Park. Plenty of fans making their way to the field today with their furry companions at their side. Seen plenty of dogs here today. There's another one right there doing some tricks. And a great ceremony before the game as well with the first pitch. We'll have more on that when we come back in the bottom of the 7th inning. But always great to see what the community relations team for the Kettleers are able to put on each and every home game here, especially on Sundays. And always great to see people and their dogs make their way to the ballpark. It's a great place to do it. Great weather, great opportunity for these dogs to meet some other dogs, just as a lot of kids come to the games, try to get some foul balls. I mean, dogs have rights too, and they should be able to experience it at the ballpark just as they did today. Come on.
Excellent day for baseball, for dogs, for people, for everyone. I mean, 81 degrees and sunny, and definitely just a great day at the ballpark.
Let's see if we can find some in the crowd, but a lot of them have appeared to have gone home. But it was still great at the beginning of the game to see all of them running around the ballpark and fans being able to meet some new dogs, and just so many people around the village who definitely have dogs. It's great to honor them. Bark at the Park is something that has become so popular among Major League ballparks. I think the Mariners were the first team to start it in the MLB, and plenty of minor league teams doing it, summer ball teams, and really just any way to bring some more enjoyment to the game of baseball. And doing that today as well as Luis Misla is into the game for the Kettleers as he has a 0-1 count here on the first batter. He faces Charlie Somm. There's 1 out in the inning. The runners are on 1st and 2nd. And the next pitch is low and inside. So a 1-1 count here to Somm. He is 1 for 2. A double back in the 5th, grounded out in the 2nd. And
An RBI hit by pitch back in the third. So a lot of production from 1 through 9 in this lineup for YD. It's something that we talk a lot about for Cotuit, but for Scott Pickler's Red Sox, it's been really important, but they haven't really been able to do much when these runners have gotten into scoring position. But Sam with a golden opportunity here. 1 out in the 7th, and a 3-1 count to him now.
I think the most impressive part about YD's offensive explosion has just been their consistency with 2 outs. 6 of their 11 hits have come with 2 outs in the inning. You've seen them score a lot of runs with 2 outs. Of course, in that first inning, they tacked on another run with 2 outs.
Rolled on the ground towards Becerra. Taylor made for 2. Advincula to first in time. 6-4-3 double play ends the top of the 7th inning. The Red Sox will leave 1 man in scoring position. Cotuit holding on as the Red Sox still lead at 5-2, but the Bats going to have to figure some things out against this strong pitching staff for the Red Sox.
Each week, the Cape Cod Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season. For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Looking to connect with the right business? Zoom Info's got you covered. With a database of over 100 million company profiles, they provide top-notch data to boost sales and marketing growth. Since 2007, Zoom Info's B2B data quality has ensured that businesses have the best intelligence right at your fingertips. Discover more at zoominfo.com and see how you can get connected today.
Each week,
So there's the first pitch from earlier today. That there is Haley, the brown lab, and he is running that to home plate to his host brother, I guess you could call it, Michael Ebner, who is receiving that ball from him. And boy, that is the best way, I think, to throw out a first pitch.
I think that's the best first pitch that we've had this year, was right in the breadbasket of Michael Ebner, and just awesome stuff, continuing the theme of Bark in the Park, and such a cool way to start off a great day for baseball.
A perfect strike that was from Haley. Running out the first pitch today. Is that the way you call it, I guess?
Yeah.
Michael Ebner was receiving that ball. Just pretty cool that Ebner, being in the host house of Fran and Cheryl Maycock, of course, their son Brian is the owner of the dog Haley, and just super cool that they were able to be a part of that ceremony. Of course, Fran Maycock being the president of the Cotuit Athletic Association, as there's a twisting line drive to deep left. It bangs off the wall after a hop. Grant Jay headed to second, and he motors in there with a leadoff double.
It was only a matter of time for Grant Jay till he squared up a ball, and it got down for a base hit, hit a bullet line drive to Will Tippett in his last at-bat in the 4th, and that ball was just scorched off the bat of Grant Jay, hopped on the first pitch that he saw, and that must feel good for Jay.
Yeah, his first extra base hit since last Friday at Harwich, when he went deep late in that ball game in the 8th frame. But before then, his last extra base hit before that was on July 6th. So able to put that one off the base of the fence there. And it was his third double. Roped off the bat of Advincula into the right center field alleyway. Jay getting the wave around third. The throw comes in. It's up the line. He pauses and will walk home. Jaron Advincula with an RBI double, and the Cotuit offense has come alive in this bottom of the 7th. It's 5-3.
That was a big break for Cotuit there as Mike Roberts put up the stop sign of Grant Jay at third base. Jay ran right through it there and was lucky that the throw went up the line and avoided the glove of Charlie Somm, the catcher. And as Jay was crossing home plate with a smile, Tanner Thatch, who set to dig in, both of them were laughing. And Jay looks over at Mike Roberts at third base, who pats his chest saying, well, I guess you know better than me, but It's another RBI hit for Jaron Advincula and cuts the deficit to just 2 runs.
That's the second time today that Grant J has been close at home with a play at the plate. First one was back in the second inning off Tanner Thatch's RBI single. And with a 1-for-3 day at the plate, Thatch digs in. And he represents this game's tying run as he takes a big swing at the first pitch he sees. 79-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Sprock. It's 0-1, so the last time Sprock faced Thatch, we saw him be breaking ball heavy. Was able to pick up a swinging strikeout of Tanner Thatch. This their second time facing each other. So Tanner Thatch with a 2-for-5 day at the plate last night. 2 RBI double late in that ball game. Now up to 23 driven in on the summer. 1 above Brandon Compton, who's second now with 22. The 1-1 to Thatch is outside. Advincula goes back to second base, and you know, that's a play there where usually you would want to hold the guy up at third base. Don't want to make the first or third out of the inning at home plate or at third base. And Mike Roberts putting up a delayed stop sign there at third, but luckily it works out in the favor of the Kettleers. Thatch powers this one into straightaway center field. R.J. Austin camps under it, pulls it down, and Advincula will hold up at second, and there's one gone.
That's a wise decision there by Advincula not to test the arm of R.J. Austin, who threw a strike right to the cutoff man. Will Tippett at shortstop, and just a frustrating at bat for Tanner Thatch. Got a pitch that he could drive right down the heart of the plate, just got well underneath it and hit it to short center field.
So a pinch hitter for Nathan Hall. He goes 0 for 3, pair of strikeouts and a pop out on the infield. It'll be Charles Davalon to grab a bat and swing for him, making this a righty on lefty matchup. And now time called by Charlie Somm.
We've seen Davalon come up in similar situations to this, and to the first game that he played for the Kettleers all the way back on June 25th against Falmouth was a game that he was used as a pinch hitter, came off the bench and crushed his first home run of the summer. And boy, that would be nice for the Kettleers coming up in this spot as trip to the mound. There is a lefty warming up in the YD bullpen, but Davalon, we've seen it a lot this year. When he's gotten pitches he can drive, he typically does not miss them.
And with the lefty coming up to the plate, Scott Pickler, it appears, will go to his bullpen. And you mentioned it was a lefty in the bullpen. It's the familiar face of Dylan Delvecchio, who will make another appearance against the Kettleers this summer. But we'll take a quick break in the midst of this 7th frame. There's one gone. A runner in scoring position is Advincula. Stay with us from Lowell Park as the Kettleers are trying to come back down from 5-3 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines.
Dylan Delvecchio is the new pitcher into the game for the YD Red Sox. He'll be making his third appearance against the Kettleers this summer, 8th overall, as he fashions a 3.48 ERA across his first 7 appearances, 10 1/3 innings, has allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, but 4 of them are earned. Has walked 5, struck out 7. Did appear on Monday night, the last time these two teams played. Pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, walked 1. And facing now Charles Davalon, who is pinch hitting for Nate Hall. Delvecchio's first offering is a breaking ball in there, just grazing the front elbow of Charles Davalon, who didn't quite like that call. It was a 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Delvecchio. He's ahead 0-1. Jaron Advincula takes his lead at second. They'll play to the pull side of Davalon. That one ties him up, and it's 0-2 now.
Delvecchio in the 2 appearances that he's made against Cotuit so far this year, 3 2/3 innings pitched, has allowed 3 hits, 2 runs that were both earned, walked 2 and struck out 2. So a familiar face for the Kettleers coming out of the YD bullpen.
Yeah, 3 innings pitched in his first appearance against Cotuit. That was back in late June. He allowed 2 earned runs on a couple of hits. And his 0-2 to Davalon. Misses everything. Advincula takes off for third. Saw him back to get it. And Cotuit will have a runner just 90 feet away with the count 1-2 to Charles Davalon.
It looked like Advincula was toying with Delvecchio over there at second base, continuing to dance back and forth, and Delvecchio taking a long look back at Advincula, comes home and spikes a pitch in the dirt, gets all the way back to the backstop here at Lowell Park, and Advincula doing a nice job advancing up to third base, so just 90 feet away from making it a 1-run ball game.
Davalon is 5 of his last 17 at-bats at the plate. And the 1-2 pitch is in off of his hands and flung towards the parking lot. Takes a big hop over a group of kids trying to get that baseball, and they will chase it down to the end of the parking lot. But Charles Davalon performing really well when he's been a starter. Has reached or driven in a run in each of his last 6 games played as a starter. Here's the 1-2 again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second out of this 7th inning. Comes on the first batter faced by Dylan Delvecchio, who enters into this ball game, allows the runner to get to third base, but responds with the strikeout.
And Delvecchio just elevating the fastball against Davalon there, and Davalon, rare to see him expand his zone, but chase the high heater as he goes down on strikes.
Here's Brandon Compton, 2 for 2 today with a walk. So just as they have been throughout the first couple at-bats for Brandon Compton, YD playing heavily to the pull side. So you can see the back of Will Tippett lining the strike zone right there in front of Compton, who goes after a pitch that was low and outside to him, and it's a 1-1 count. Nice breaking ball there from Delvecchio.
Really pretty breaking ball that had Brandon Compton well out in front on that pitch, and not too many times in these last few games that Brandon Compton's looked silly at the dish.
Gets a similar pitch there, but lays it off, and it's 2-1. So trying to toy with him once more with that pitch is Delvecchio, but Compton holds back and has continued to impress at the plate, extending that 6-game hitting streak to 7 last night, making it 8 today. Up to 29 hits on the summer as he takes a nifty breaking ball there to even up the count at 2-2.
And Max Ballou has emerged out of the Kettleer dugout. He stands in the on-deck circle if Brandon Compton were to reach base.
Yeah, that would be an interesting play because you'd likely take out Luke Hansen after Tyler Cerny was taken out, but we'll find out when we come back in the top of the 8th inning as Brandon Compton chases after a breaking ball down low, and Dylan Delvecchio enters into this ball game. Dealing with the runner in scoring position, he strands him there by fanning back-to-back batters. So Cotuit still trailing 5-3, even though they got a run on Advincula's RBI single. But Luis Misla will return to the bump for the top of the 8th frame. Cotuit trails by 2. You're listening to Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Apologize to you all watching at home, undergoing a couple of technical difficulties as we move into this top of the 8th inning. So Cam Kim just led off that 8th frame. It was a 5-3 putout. And there is one gone. And here's Will Tippett. So Tippett today is 1 for 3. Singled in the second, grounded out, and struck out looking. He's facing Luis Misla, who works into his first full inning of work and dials in a first pitch fastball low and away to Tippett. Misla entering in the top of the 7th inning. There were 2 runners on with 1 gone in the inning, and then forced a ground ball double play out off the bat of Charlie Somm. It's a big swing and a miss there, and it's 1-1 on Will Tippett. So Luis Misla works into his 4th appearance this season. 3 appearances so far, fashioning an 18 ERA. But doing a nice job of continuing to lower that ERA across his first few appearances, as he allowed 5 earned runs against Bourne on July 6th, but then responded with 1 earned run against YD last Tuesday. And then a scoreless performance against Chatham this week. 2-1 pitch, misses low and away, and it's a 3-1 count to Tippett. But Misla is a good example of a guy who ran into some issues in his first appearance, but has continued to weather the storm in his next few outings.
That he has, and especially in that last outing against Chatham, as he gives up the free pass to Will Tippett there. But in that game against Chatham, just 22 pitches and was really doing a good job commanding the strike zone. That's when Luis Misla's at his best. And even in the game against YD, and although he did give up the solo home run to Ethan Petrie that tied the game up at 8, 26 pitches, 15 strikes, and just a much better performance than what he showed against Bourne.
Misla giving up the second batter that he faces in this 8th inning by way of the walk, so the lineup card flips back over to R.J. Austin, who's 0 for 4. Runner on first is Will Tippett. He takes his short lead there as Austin takes strike 1. Difficult day at the plate for R.J. Austin, and this is a guy who is coming off of a season at Vanderbilt where he was able to hit .335, 81 base knocks in 60 games. Doing it mostly with his legs, keeping balls inside of the ballpark. 81 of those hits, only 5 of them left the yard. Did drive in 54 runs, but he's down in the count 0-2 here on Misla. Next pitch barely gets a piece, fouls it off of Grant J, and it's 0-2 still.
It feels like everywhere that R.J. Austin has gone, he's put up big numbers, even as a freshman at Vanderbilt. Played in 62 games, hit .247, Even made an impact with 43 RBIs, had 11 doubles, and came to YD last summer and put up great numbers, hit .327 in 29 games. Of course, you just read off his numbers at Vanderbilt this year, and we know the talented and all the impact that he's made this summer with YD for a second season.
0-2 pitch, little dribbler up the first base line. Miesla having to flip it to Thatch. He will do so, and it's the second out of this eighth. So for the 5th time today, Cotuit pitching is able to retire the elusive R.J. Austin, who falls back to 0 for 5, and there's 2 gone for Michael Ball.
And that's a harder play than it seems for Luis Miesla, who's falling off the mound to the opposite side, has to run all the way over to first base, pick up that ground ball, and of course it's against the speedy R.J. Austin, who always makes it a difficult play. So really give credit to Luis Miesla fielding his position well and picking up a crucial second out.
Yeah, it's a good point that you bring up as the first pitch gets away from Grant J. Moving up to third goes Will Tippett. But yeah, you're right. Miesla falling off to the third base side of that bag, so having to track a bit more than he would if he was a righty towards the first base side. And he's throwing to Michael Ball, and they've done a nice job of cutting him down after the solo home run in the first inning. He's 1 for 4. Gotten underneath a couple of balls and grounded out as he lays down the bunt here down the third base line. Miesla gloves it home. It's away from Grant J. So the run comes in and scores easily. It's a 6-3 ball game. Moving up past first is Michael Ball, and YD has a 3-run lead.
Miesla was trying to go fast with that play there, flipped it with the glove, and that goes just well over the head of Grant J. As Michael Ball thought about going for 2, but was busting it down the line, didn't see the ball get away from Grant J, so he stays put at first. And just a play from Miesla that he had to hurry, and that flip goes well over the head of J.
Yeah, it just shows you the importance of keeping the ball in front as that wild pitch advanced the runner to third, and no hesitation for Scott Pickler to turn on the bunt signal. And that easily brings home the 6th run of the game for YD. So just as the Kettleers were able to bring 1 run across the plate in the 7th, make it 5-3, YD re-extends that lead. It's their first run scored since the top of the 3rd. First pitch is low and away to Anthony Martinez. He's had a pretty good day at the plate, is 1 for 3, walked in the 3rd, scored a run, has put the ball in play other than that. And we were talking about the last time this part of the lineup was rotating through, how they've done a lot of damage, but Cotuit pitching done a nice job after that 4th frame to hold them silent. There's a called strike 1, and it's 1-1 the count to Martinez. Martinez in his 19th game played this summer for the Red Sox. .230 batting average going into this game. Had a great start to the summer in his first week, a couple of doubles. 4 driven in. 1-2 pitch. He watches it all the way through, and it's a 2-2 count now. Martinez making his return to YD this summer, only playing 5 games for Pickler's Red Sox a year ago. Went 4 for 18 at the plate, all singles. Time called by the home plate umpire. Now, is that one of those there, Alex, where Miesla was not addressing the batter? And so the home plate umpire will reset the pitch clock. The 2-2. Martinez cracks that to straightaway center. Davallon moving back towards the fence, and he'll pull down out number 3. So given a ride to the deepest part of the ballpark by Anthony Martinez. The yard holds it, though, and the YD Red Sox are taking a 6-3 lead into the bottom of the 8th inning. You're listening to Cotuit Baseball on the Ketts Digital Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering.
The pinch hitter, Max Ballou, will be the first man to face Dylan Delvecchio in the bottom of the 8th inning. So he grabs the bat and will hit for Luke Hansen, who replaced Tyler Cerny as a defensive sub in the top of the 4th inning. And so it'll be Max Ballou who takes a ball outside as the second replacement in the 4 spot in this lineup. So Mike Roberts, as we were discussing earlier on in the broadcast, how Scott Pickler and Roberts will change up their lineups a lot in the middle of the game, kind of that old-fashioned coaching style where if one guy seemingly doesn't have it through his first 2 ABs, then they'll just take him out, replace him with another guy, because as is the same for YD, Cotuit has plenty of guys on this roster who can play a lot of different positions and can fill in, as this is a team with great depth and a big reason as to why they have a league best 19-9-1 record. Ballou takes a called strike 2, and it's 2-2. 88 on the gun there from Delvecchio.
I think it's an interesting decision for Mike Roberts to put the lefty Delvecchio out on the mound and Max Ballou, another lefty, so you go with a lefty-lefty matchup, pinch hitting the righty, Luke Hansen.
Fouls that one away.
Of course, you have a righty, Nolan Naraki, who plays the same position as Luke Hansen off the bench, and Naraki has good numbers against left-handed pitching this year, hitting .273. So an interesting decision to go with the lefty Ballou.
Yeah, Ballou got the start on Wednesday afternoon, went 0 for 4. Didn't get the start the next day against Chatham as the count's now full. He also didn't appear against Wareham and, of course, got back into the lineup last night against Chatham, but notched 1 hit, went 1 for 4, took a hit by pitch, also scored a run. 3-2 offering is fanned at and missed for strike 3. Dylan Delvecchio picks up his 3rd straight strikeout in his 3rd appearance against the Kets this year.
Delvecchio working against the lefty Ballou. Ballou fouled off a couple of pitches, saw some pitches in that bat, but Delvecchio with some really pretty stuff has fed all 3 hitters he's faced so far.
Now facing Easton Winfield, a lefty-heavy part of the lineup now with the new hitter Max Ballou in there. But Timo Becerra stands in the on-deck circle as a right-handed bat. Devin Taylor would bat after him if necessary. As the skies darken above Lowell Park, no clouds overhead though. And the next pitch to Winfield is a breaking ball low and outside, so likely no threat of a game called due to darkness tonight, as we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 7:50 p.m. local time, but I know that's really been the topic of conversation amongst all of the visiting broadcasters who have made their way to Lowell Park in the last week. Why these games don't start at 4:30. But both of these teams, YD and the Kettleers, play at fields with no lights. And as is the same with YD, Cotuit won't be playing games at 4:30 until after July is over. It's a 2-2 count to Winfield now. Of course, always difficult to make the teams who are a bit further up the Cape and lower down the Cape like Chatham, to get them to travel long distances to play a 4:30 p.m. game could be asking a lot, but obviously It's about those teams who are having to hit BP, do all their early work, of course getting the field ready. That all takes time, and so with no lights you don't have as much time in the day already. And so to play as many games at 5 p.m. as you can is really important. And whether sometimes it sacrifices the last couple innings of a ball game, that's what the Kettleers give expense to, as that one's hit into right field, and Easton Winfield continues his hitting streak to 6 games. Improves to 1 for 4 and a 1-out single. Brings Timo Becerra up to the plate with a runner on first.
It's another good at-bat for Easton Winfield after starting the day 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts at a bullet line drive to Michael Ball in his last at-bat in the 6th, and then got up in the count 2-1, looked at a pitch on the outside corner that evened the count at 2-2, and then on the 6th pitch of the at-bat, not trying to do too much, just dunks it down into center field. So another nice at-bat for Easton Winfield as he continues to thrive right in the heart of this Kettleer lineup.
Yeah, it was a strong battle by Winfield, and at the end of it is able to notch his 6th hit in 6 straight games. So for him, he improves to 1 for 4, but that'll put an end to the line for Dylan Delvecchio, who pitches 1 full inning, does give up a hit, strikes out 3 batters, and a new righty will enter the game for the YD Red Sox as they lead it by 3. In the midst of the bottom of the 8th inning, we'll return in a couple moments from Lowell Park on the Kettleers Digital Network.
League All-Star Game is just a few weeks away. Cheer on your favorite Kettleers as they square off with some of the best players on the Cape. This year's game will be played in Falmouth on July 27th. The gates open up at 1:30 p.m. ahead of the 6 o'clock first pitch. All-Star Game tickets can be found at www.capecodleague.com/allstargame. Or you can find out more information about the tickets at the Kettleers store.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there. Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
The Cape Cod League also
The new right-handed pitcher in for the Red Sox, it'll be Trevor Moore. And he's making his 10th appearance on the summer for the YD Red Sox, has made a home for himself in the back of that YD bullpen as he enters into this ball game with a league-best 7 saves. Looking for a 5-out save here. Each of his 9 appearances finished out ball games, as 9 games finished as well. So even when they're not a save situation, Scott Pickler has time and time again gone to Trevor Moore out of the pen. First batter he'll face is Timo Becerra with the runner on first. Becerra checks his swing, and he did go around, says the first base ump, Joseph Caraco. Becerra is 0 for 2, a strikeout his last at-bat against Ryan Sprock. Walk in the 4th, ground out in the 2nd. As Becerra flings that one through the right side, that sinks in for a base hit, and Becerra notches back-to-back singles for the Kettleers. First it was against Delvecchio, and now he welcomes Moore into the game.
Becerra going the opposite way, and we've seen that a lot from the Kettleers so far today, is going the opposite way and not trying to be over-aggressive and pull balls as Becerra takes it one into right field, and now Cotuit has back-to-back hits, and they're threatening here with Devin Taylor digging in.
Devin Taylor is 0 for 3, back-to-back strikeouts after a ground out in the second inning. And a big opportunity here as the Kettleers trail by 3 with runners on first and second. The first pitch from Moore. Taylor watches it all the way through on an 85-mile-an-hour pitch that misses below his knees, and he is in control, 1-0. Trevor Moore so far with a 0 ERA. 13 2/3 innings scoreless. That one right there, just the 8th hit he's allowed all season. And now it's a 2-0 count to Devin Taylor. Coming off of a campaign at Stanford where he had an even 6 RA and 28 appearances, made just 1 start, notched only 1 save. 57 strikeouts, though, in exactly 57 innings. 2-0 pitch to Taylor. He watches a breaking ball, dial in just on the outer edge, and it's 2-1. So we're seeing a much similar performance at the start of the summer for Trevor Moore compared to what we saw by the 2023 reliever of the year, Sean Matson. Led the CCBL in saves, had over 10 of them. Moore well on the track to match that mark as the 2-1 pitch is a violent hack from Taylor, and then he goes back to 2-2.
We've seen the strikeout numbers this year, 26 strikeouts for Trevor Moore through his 9 appearances, over 13 1/3 innings pitched, and anytime you can fan 26 guys in those 13 innings, it's truly impressive stuff from the righty.
The 2-2 to Taylor. Low and outside, called to strike 3. Taylor can't believe it. Has a couple of calm words for the home plate umpire, Sam Finn, but he will have to accept his 3rd strikeout of the day. First one looking, and that's a huge out for Trevor Moore.
That was an emphatic strike 3 call from Sam Finn there. Had some extra emphasis, ringing up Devin Taylor on a pitch that he disagreed with, thought it was a ball, and so did the Cotuit faithful and the Kettleers dugout.
Yeah, Mike Roberts continuing to jar at the home plate ump, Finn. But now the batter will be Grant Jay. 2 outs in the inning. Runners are still on first and second. Winfield is at second, Becerra is at first, and now time called by Mike Roberts, who was just giving it to the third base ump behind the pitcher's mound. That's Mike Hinojosa. Looks like he will issue Roberts a warning. So that's the 3rd straight game where Mike Roberts has been given a warning by this umpiring crew. Of course, a different umpiring crew every night, but you see a lot of names continue to pop up, being Joseph Caraco at first, Mike Hinojosa behind the mound, and Sam Finn behind the dish. Jay checks his swing and is back to 0-1.
Talked about Trevor Moore going to Stanford, and really cool to see him play at the same school that his father, Tim Moore, played at until 1992. Was a 5th-round pick by the White Sox and was in the White Sox organization for around 4 seasons.
Now an 0-2 count to Jay, and now his son playing for the Red Sox on the Cape League. But pretty cool to see those ties from his father and now being able to get some appearances in the Premier Summer Baseball League. Guy who hails from Golden, Colorado. 6'1", 210-pound reliever. Ready with the 0-2 to Jay. Here it comes. It finds the dirt, blocked by Som, and it's a 1-2 count. Looks like a cutter there that Moore is throwing. Has the fastball up to around 93, 94, and then the cutter in the high 80s, around 86, 87. It was 2 straight fastballs to start off the count, and then the cutter low. Let's see what he comes back with at 1-2 to Grant Jay. Large looping breaking ball, got him looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Trevor Moore. He strands 2 runners on base, and the Kettleers are held at 6-3 as we go to the top of the 9th frame here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Our game is just a few weeks away. Cheer on your favorite Kettleers as they square off with some of the best players on the Cape. This year's game will be played in Falmouth on July 27th. The gates open up at 1:30 p.m. ahead of the 6 o'clock first pitch. All-Star Game tickets can be found at www.capecodleague.com/allstargame. Or you can find out more information about the tickets at the Kettleers store.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver. Well, that's going to do it from Lowell Park tonight. Cotuit loses it 6-3 after 8 innings played. They brought the tying run to the plate in that bottom of the 8th inning, but it was Trevor Moore who entered into the ball game, picked up 2 strikeouts, and completed the 18th win of the season for Scott Pickler's Red Sox. And Mike Roberts, not too happy with the decision by this umpiring crew, continues to have a conversation with them as the Kettleers' winning streak comes to a close here on Sunday night, Alex.
And before the inning, or the bottom of the 8th inning started, the umpiring crew, all 3 of them were talking together. They went over to the YD dugout and talked with their head coach, Scott Pickler. Never once mentioned anything to Mike Roberts, at least that we saw them talking to Roberts. So he's rightfully so upset, still jawing with the umpires as they exit the playing field here at Lowell Park. But just a tough day for the Kettleers as the offense came into play. They did have 9 hits, just 3 runs, but inconsistencies throughout the lineup and really clutch 2-out hitting for YD. They had 6 2-out base hits out of their 11 hits, and it was a tough game for Cotuit. And of course, they've been on this great 7-game stretch where they were 6-0-1, had won their last 3 games at home, and it was only a matter of time for it to come to an end. But just a tough way to lose, especially with the game being called in 8 innings.
Yeah, we've talked so much about games here happening as it continues to get dark, and you see a lot of times the games won't get called if there's not too much cloud cover, but tonight pretty much no clouds in the sky, and they still decide to call this baseball game. So it's more of the same, really, though, for Cotuit and for YD, because YD, with a 7-7 tie last night after 8 innings played against Falmouth, tonight they're able to come away with a 6-3 win after 8 innings. They put up 11 hits, 9 hits for Cotuit, and it was really the early offense for YD that was enough to hold on for this win.
And it was, and they jumped on the starting pitcher, Tyler O'Neill, for Cotuit today, making his Kettleer debut, went 2 2/3, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, walked a batter and struck out 2, but you saw it from just the second batter of the game, Michael Ball blasting his first home run of the summer and crushed it deep into left field, and followed up just 2 batters later, Ethan Petrie, Phoenix Call, getting them on the board. And as we talked about it so much, the first 3 innings being paramount for the Kettleers' success. And while after the first 3 innings, Cotuit was down 5-2 and just was an insurmountable deficit.
Yeah, it was Cotuit. I mean, they're so good in late innings and so good at bringing the offense together after about 5-6 innings played, but they really needed that offense to wake up, and you just can't do that against a team that's best in the East. They really have had the best lineup in the Cape League across this entire season. Maybe in the past week with some turnover, they haven't been able to been as productive offensively, but are still able to find their way today en route to their 18th win of the summer. But right now, Mike Roberts just concluding the huddle down there at field level, and he is joined by Shane Patagna after the 6-3 loss. What do you have for us, Shane?
All right, so, Coach, all things must come to an end. It's the team's first loss since July 11th, and really just one bad inning in the 3rd. Jack O'Malley and Dylan Hawanitz can't handle with inherited runners, and then the error. That's all what came down to tonight. Frames brought the tying run to the plate, and the team took 13 just. will face the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the road Tuesday at 6 p.m. at McKeon Park. Back to you, Joe and Alex in the booth.
Thanks, Shane. Thank you, Mike Roberts. After a quick couple of words, after their 10th loss of the season, falling 6-3 to the YD Red Sox. And Alex, one more question before we put a bow on this one. The Kettleers with a much-needed off day, I guess you could call it, tomorrow. How do they rest and reconvene on Tuesday to pick up a much-needed victory against Hyannis, who's nipping at the heels of Wareham in the West Division?
We mentioned the off day tomorrow for the Kettleers, and it's definitely much needed. This is a team that's played a lot of baseball over the last few days, and of course we mentioned the stretch, and Shane mentioning that the Kettleers haven't lost since July 11th. They've been playing excellent baseball, but I think it's just a day that Cotuit and the Kettleers can just take, relax, and focus on something that's other than baseball, because after this off day, of course, you play 4 games this week, then it's the All-Star break, but then the games really start to heat up, and it's getting close to playoff time, so definitely enjoy the off day. Forget about this game. There's obviously some things that you need to clean up. You need to start better. You can't allow 5 runs in the first 3 innings, but also you need to do a better job hitting with runners in scoring position and ultimately getting runners in scoring position. The Kettleers today, 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position as they left 8 guys on base, and even in the wins, that's been a common theme of not being able to drive in runs when they're just 90 feet or on second base.
And Cotuit will try to find their way on Tuesday night when they take on Hyannis. A couple other games going on in the league as the Kettleers were closely watching the Falmouth Commodores game tonight, as they are just a couple of wins, a loss, a couple runs here and there away from clinching playoff berth. But we'll continue to follow along that journey for Game 31 when we return at McKeon Park on Tuesday. But that'll do it for our coverage here tonight of Game 30. For myself, for my broadcast partner Alex Rocco, for our entire production crew, Jimmy Chantulis and Cam Christie. A special thanks to Jimmy Middleton and Shane Patagna, who filled in for Adele Huffman today, doing a great job as always. So you'll hear from us on Tuesday night in Hyannis. The Cotuit dropping a 6-3 contest here at Lowell Park, a much-needed off day tomorrow. We appreciate you all joining us this week, and of course, for a little bit of Sunday night. YD making their way off the field right now as they have just completed their 18th win of the season, improving to 18-9-3. Cotuit back to 19-10-1. We'll talk to you on Tuesday